I think I think I
What's
revealed
wrong?
my I think I revealed my Facebook for a bit.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, let me end it for a bit. Oh my.
Alright. Hello,
um.
everyone.
Okay, just let
Today
me just
I'm
start it again.
today I am doing a stream with Mysudemt, and we will be doing an art collab. So yeah, be drawing each other's avatars. Yay! Alright,
um. Just a moment.
no worries. Oh, it's like I don't remember how to use this. Oh, do you prefer the left or the right side?
Um, left. Uh, Wait. Left side or right side?
Yeah, for the canvas, we'll be drawing on the same canvas. So
Oh, I guess I'll take the right side then,
okay,
cause
no problem.
from the because I set my avatar on the right side, so
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I always like in my case I can draw on either side, so it doesn't bother me. Okay,
yeah, I'll take the right side.
okay, cool.
Hmm?
Quiet music. Let me know if it's too
All
loud.
right, looks like everything's okay. I'm just making sure, like my tab was like on my Facebook, so I
Oh
was like,
no.
oh no,
Yeah, because it's a
everything's
browser-based thing.
yeah.
Oops.
All right, I'll just separate this one. So
Yep.
yep.
Okay. On the left side,
Here we go.
you can kind of see what I'll be using for the base reference. That's the picture I was given, so I don't have his whole body, but I'm gonna, kind of do what I can with it. So that's my plan.
Mhm.
Oh
All
my
right,
god, this
I
thing is
think
so huge.
everything's ready now. Yes,
All right, woo! Oh
finally.
my god, that was so big.
All right, it's already running. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, position. Here we go.
Everything good?
Yep. Whew.
Ah!
All right, everything's good.
I forgot I turned my tablet one of my I just had to get a new tablet, and
Mm-hmm.
one of my pen things I kept bumping it, so I just turned it to save, so I would just
Mm-hmm.
save instead of it. I just accidentally saved the
Oh.
canvas.
Oh.
Ah,
Wait. So, what pen size are you using right now?
I'm
Cause
just using oh my god.
mine's like a little bit smaller. Cause
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
just using
yeah.
one. It's whatever your preference is. We don't have to draw the
Mm-hmm.
same. We're obviously different artists.
Oh, all right, all right. Yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting like my phone uh vibrates a lot, so you can really hear it from my mic. So
Oh, you should put like noise gate and stuff on.
uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
an expert on it, but I have them
uh-huh.
on because my fiance knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been like trying to set up my audio stuff because uh I haven't like really tinkered anything with it because I just really had less time to like figure things out because I was like busy with studies and work.
Yeah, and
It's
there's
pretty hard.
so much like that. I'm still learning stuff all the time too. So
Mm-hmm.
give me one second. I'm gonna push that off. How do push to talk is being annoying? Activity. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
easier. Okay, cool. Headphone got caught on the tablet again.
Yeah, I even forgot to like clean up clean up my setup here at my table. So
Oh,
everything's pretty messy, and my head's pretty much like um almost near to the condenser. Uh,
yeah. I just ended up. Well, I just got a new tablet, and I
mm-hmm.
went from a 13-inch to a 22-inch. So
Oh,
it's
dang.
it's a lot of learning.
Mm-hmm.
Like this thing is so much wider. I keep getting my headphone tangled on it because I'm not used to it.
Mm-hmm. So how was it, the new tablet?
Oh my god, it is so much nicer than the one I had. Like I didn't even realize how good a tablet could be.
Oh.
It's like the one I have is had it wasn't bad, but I have a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
like programs like Python and stuff on my computer that just don't want to play nice with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had updated the drivers in like forever because
Yeah.
it's an outdated tablet nobody uses anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm like I couldn't do anything and it was just getting frustrating. And then I found one on a Huey on sale that could get on a payment plan, so that's what I ended up doing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how do I resize this one?
Oh, fingers.
Oh, there we go.
Pain of my existence.
Mm-hmm. I thought you said, uh, bone of my sword.
Bone of my sword. It's the bone of my
Yeah.
sword. I mean, I do make Fate references all the time.
I rarely make like those kind of like comments and stuff because I'm not really used to talking a lot. So.
I am just an out and out nerd in every way,
Mm-hmm.
shape, or form. So, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, a lot of like even my mother is. So it's been a lot easier on me than it is on some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I started like talking much more when I started working here in US because I don't know, maybe it's how everyone interacts with each other because in Philippines it really depends, like there are people who want to talk to you, but there are people who were like just avoid you.
Yeah, no, US is a very big talking country. That's a
Mhm.
pretty good way to put it.
Mhm.
Because like even when I was in Japan and stuff, because I went there to study for a bit when I was in college,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was just like I'm so used to there always being noise,
Mhm.
and yeah, they're actually like quiet on trains and light.
Mhm.
I like it a
Mhm.
lot better.
Yeah, cause when I did my college in Philippines, it's mostly like it's easier to talk with each other if you're like in a certain group, but here in US was like it's really like free for all. It's free for all. Like you can just start a conversation with someone, and it's more likely to be like less awkward than how it was in my country.
Understandable. Although
Mm-hmm.
I still think, at least for me, there's still a lot of cliques growing up. But I think a lot of it also had to do that. I've been a nerd since I was like 2.
I'm not sure when I did become a nerd though with anime and stuff. I can only recall like watching Pokemon and stuff.
Yeah, anime I definitely got into way later. But my
Mm-hmm.
mother collected like fantasy and
Mm-hmm.
Egyptian mythology books. So
Oh, I
I
see.
read she would read us, like, she read us Wrinkle in Time and stuff when we went to bed when we were really young.
Oh,
So like yeah,
I see.
we've all been kind of into like me and my family. Because
Mm-hmm.
Kitten, the other one who has the Discord with me, that's my older sister.
Yep. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, I've been seeing her a lot on your posts. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
my younger sister unfortunately lives further away, but she's
Mm-hmm.
not as much of an anime nerd, but she's just as
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Let's see, nuclear
I guess the
is
craziness runs in the family.
oh for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my family though, I think I'm just the actual nerd in my family, like the actual anime nerd, because I know most of the I know my um oldest brother is much more nerdy than me because he was like into computers and stuff, and also my other older brother. But
Yeah.
when it comes to anime, I'm the much more deep. I'm much more deeper in the lore.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's
Mm,
actually seems to be like the thing with a lot of people I know.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to like zoom and move around. I did
Oh,
finally.
I'm still not used to like zooming as well because
This
I'm just
program is
using my
weird.
mouse. Yeah. There's still some flaws, but I think it's pretty doable.
I think for like a free program, like this is really useful for stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted something that had layers. I love layers.
Yep. I actually when I checked how Hololive did it, I think they were using like I think it was the name was the Magic Draw, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't figure out. I know I was trying to find the one that Pochi's senpai used with Eofi and
Mm.
Ina, but I could never find which one that one was
Oh, okay.
because it
Oh,
wasn't
just
like
a mo.
sourced.
Yeah. Just a moment. Someone's
No
knocking.
worries.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I want fries again. Always do. So how's everyone today? I know it's a weird time for me to be streaming.
Iwanan mo lang dyan. Nakakat, huwag kayang kumatok ah.
I think you muted. I wish my neighbors would stop smoking.
Uh, all right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Finally I'm back. I feel sorry for my friend. I did like a speed rush, like getting some things.
Like, get out of here. Goodbye.
Yeah. well, well, I'm not really that mean, like
Oh, I'm
sending them
teasing.
off. Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
I actually told him beforehand already that I was like doing a stream, but I forgot to like tell my younger brother that I was like doing a stream, so he just
Oh.
kept on knocking on my door.
Oops.
Yep.
Okay, I'm actually streaming in my living room, and my fiance
Hmm.
is working from home behind me. So
Oh, oh, okay.
I do a lot of collab streams with him, which is always funny because you know I can just lean over and poke him.
Oh.
Oh, time for the bane of my existence. Hands.
Hmm. I haven't even done anything yet. I was like doing just the base form for now.
I am actually a bit of a speed artist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely gonna slow you down a bit. So I'm sorry
Oh
in
no, that's
advance.
fine. Like everyone draws at their own pace, and this
Mhm.
this is why I don't know if you've seen the other results of the other collab streams. I've always got like partial backgrounds on my because
Mhm.
I'm faster than most people, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I've slowed down a bit, but there was
Mhm.
one Otakon back when it was in Baltimore. I think I
Mhm.
had 38 commissions all weekend because I was doing Artist
Mhm.
Alley. Like so,
Yeah.
I did 38 drawings in that weekend.
Oh, dang, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then I think my highest count was 45, but it was a 4-day con, so
Mhm.
like some of them are just like sketches and stuff, but yeah,
Mhm.
I'm hey, where did my donut go? There it is. But yeah, I've slowed down quite a bit from there at least.
Mhm.
Fingers. I'll fix them once I remove all this stuff.
Actually, when I tried this program before, I my brush strokes were like so flat, like it's so round. I was like, is my pen like not working? So I had like a hard time like, what should I do? Then I just found out that I didn't set up my browser.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. It's a good thing I was able to like fix it on time and did some
Yeah.
and yeah. So I did some test drawings at least.
The brushes on here aren't great, but I mean for what it is, it's
Mm-hmm.
useful and it's fun.
Yep.
It at least does track sensitivity to an extent if you're using the right browser, because we found that out
Mm-hmm.
before too, where I think it was when my first one ever I did with Rajamitsu, we
Mm-hmm.
learned that I think it was Firefox was having severe issues with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah, cause I'm using Firefox right now, so.
Yeah, so that's part. I mean, it's not like you can't use it. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
was she was having a lot more issues than I was, and I'm using Chrome.
Oh, I'm actually using Chrome back then, but my computer was like slowing down, so
Yeah.
I quit like using Chrome like I think it was 2 years ago. So I'm kind of used to like using Firefox.
Firefox is a good one. Chrome
Mm-hmm.
is great, but yeah, it's a process eater for
Yep.
sure. I have typically like well my computer it's funny, it's a gaming laptop, but I got it specifically so I could run Photoshop and Premiere at the same time because they're two
Mm-hmm.
of Adobe's heaviest eating things.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I do certain things it still has trouble, but like with
Mm-hmm.
Chrome and like this stuff it has no problem. And same with Photoshop and Chrome. But I have something called throttle stop that I run when I'm doing like
Mm-hmm.
some of those really high detailed games and stuff.
Oh.
And that
Oh
helps in
yeah. How do I add a layer here, by the way?
if you look at the top, there should be like a here, 1 second. If you can see what I'm drawing, it looks
Uh,
like this icon.
oh, I I
Right on
can't
top
see
of the
it.
layer panel.
Top late. Oh.
It says
Hmm.
like you'll see it says like opacity, and then there's normal, leave, and then
Uh
there's
huh.
some stuff there. Yeah, the one at the far right end, it looks like a page folded over.
This let's see. Oh, this one. Okay, okay. Man, I'm so slow.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Like draw on your own, like you what you're comfortable with. I'm gonna be doing a lot of
Mhm.
tweaking.
Oh.
I'm just getting some of the details down now. And also, don't worry if it's not colored.
Oh, okay, okay. I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah, just do what
Mhm.
what works for you.
Mhm. Yeah, cuz most of the time I'm like a little I have this like a little bit of a perfectionism, I guess, when I draw. So I was like I gotta finish this. I gotta finish this. I gotta make sure everything's colored and stuff, but Yeah.
Yeah, like no, I hate that I can't shade the way I normally shade on this program because I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
the soft brushes just don't work the way they do normally. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like having to do cell shading, which I don't like as much. But
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't get that done, it wouldn't be the end of the world either. It's just I'm crazy.
Yep.
I think all artists have a bit of a perfectionist streak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, my art professor actually said that when he started our first day of class, he was like, "Okay, so I'm a bit of like a perfectionist. So it depends on how I look on your artwork and stuff, and blah blah blah." Yeah, but he's a pretty nice professor.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
I've had some
Actually,
rough
yeah.
professors before, so
Oh, okay. Actually, I learned quite a lot from him. Like even the basic of the basic stuff.
the
Like
basics are super important though.
mm-hmm. Like the thickness of lines and stuff. I was just like, oh, I see. Like I didn't realize that I was like drawing in a certain way that like oh this could have made my work easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I know was I didn't actually have a single art class until I got into college because I hated art.
Oh, okay.
So most of it was my older sister forcing me to draw with her,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently, that came in handy. So
Yeah, sometimes you have to be forced.
yeah, well, she was like super talented, and I wasn't. So
Oh, okay.
sibling rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually get that kind of rivalry with older brothers too, because I just watch them like draw stuff and I just kind of get influenced by it. But since they were like more into computers and stuff, I thought that maybe I should one up my game. Like I gotta pursue art more than them.
There you go. Yeah. My case, it was like I always did. As a kid, that's just it. I focused on academics because that was like the one place I could top my sisters in.
Mm-hmm.
I was in like merit and AP classes since I was like 8. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then now I run into walls.
Oh.
Yeah, those things don't mean much in the long run. As a kid, I was like, okay, they have this, I can do this, because my little sister was the dancer, my older sister was the
Mm-hmm.
artist.
Yep.
I needed
And you're
something.
yeah, and you're the one behind the brains.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard when you have like siblings that excel at something you're not good at. So you gotta find your own quirk to like get your own game.
Yeah. Although at least it helps, like, after all these years and stuff, like, his my older sister still, obviously she also draws too, but she's been super, like, supportive and stuff and helping. And then,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if because Rana Faye's in the Discord too, so I don't know if you've come across
Mm-hmm.
her. She is actually the one who, like, when I first got my Copics, she literally had me stop at her house after work because she lives nearby and taught
Oh.
me how to, like, shade and stuff with Copics. So she
Oh.
spent, like, a couple hours just showing me that. And that was
Oh.
like really helpful. And she does like Copic lessons. I think like once a month on her Twitch too.
Was it the what's her name again? I think it was a Ranafe.
Ranafe? Yeah, Ranafe.
Yeah. Oh, Ranafe. Okay.
Yeah, I've actually I've known her since college. We met in an art class in college.
Oh.
And we didn't talk to each other.
Oh.
She left herself signed in on DeviantArt once and I saw it and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh man, she's got a DA page. I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
unsign her out and leave her a note and let her
Uh,
know, "Hey, you left
mm-hmm.
yourself signed in."
Yeah.
And then we started talking through DA and we'd sit next to each other in class and not say a word to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like those anime cliche anime moments like like you there's like these two main characters like you know.
Yeah. In fact, like the first time we talked, we had been talking about Gact, the singer, and like
Mm-hmm.
at the time he had, I don't know if he had like a new song out or if there was a song I hadn't heard yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like she gets into class that day and literally comes,
Mm-hmm.
grabs my chair because it was those rolling chairs, and like
Mm-hmm.
rolls me over to her computer and is like,
Mm-hmm.
listen. After that, we talked. But yeah, it was definitely a fun way to meet someone.
Mm-hmm. So you are the type like that gets dragged along.
Yeah, I'm well, especially back then, I was a lot more antisocial and had trouble
Mm-hmm.
like dealing with people. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm better now, but I still have like issues and anxieties, so it doesn't help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cause if in my case I was the type who like drags my friends around. Like I actually like teach them like anime stuff. Like I tell them like spoilers and stuff.
Oh,
And
spoiler
yeah,
warning.
yeah, I'm a big spoiler back then, but nowadays I'm just like, yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Good thing I've washed my sins that then.
Well, yeah, when you're young, you all do stupid things.
Yep.
I wanted to be a dog.
Oh, why? Why though?
I don't know. I was like my
That
first
thing.
OC ever is literally a talking dog.
Oh,
I
that
mean, that
came
was
out of
it was
nowhere.
like I guess like a third grade OC, but still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like yeah, I also wanted to be some kind of scientist for the longest time. And
Mm-hmm.
then my older sister actually is the one who got me into graphic design because she wanted to
Mm-hmm.
take the desktop, like they had a design class at my high
Oh
school,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
but you were only allowed to take it if she's 2 years older than me, and you're only allowed to take it
Mm-hmm.
if you were junior or senior. And she
Mm-hmm.
was taking it her senior year, and I was only a sophomore. But because I was taking junior and senior classes, they decided to, waive it and let me take it with her. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my god, this is so cool! I want to do this. So
Oh.
I jumped from I went through all these different science majors and science classes, and then I jumped to
Mm-hmm.
art.
Uh, I think I'm actually in I kind of avoided like a lot of like academic stuff because I really thought like it's not really gonna help me a lot like when it comes to art, but at least I try to like study um biology and stuff, so just to like whenever I draw I can figure out like, oh, so these muscles like move like this and stuff.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense. I wish I
yeah.
had like taken basic art classes,
Mm-hmm.
because I would have learning the basics would have helped a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Would've-
Because I mostly self-taught as well. But when it comes to like art classes, there were a lot of people like very good at it, but they're not really like focusing on it. So I kind of feel like envious about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think one of the worst things that I've run into. So I teach children how to draw comics for a local art gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Toifu. And like it's really weird because like you'll get these kids that are like I think my youngest students have been like 8 years old, and I get some that are even older than me, but I'll get all these
Mm-hmm.
like young kids in there, and they're
Yep.
like, oh yeah, like I can't draw at all, and then you see their drawings and you
Mm-hmm.
just want to like flip the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's especially much more frustrating when they were like, I need your advice on this, but it's already good, you need more advice.
Yeah, it's like, what, you need my advice? I can't do this either.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of, it's hard to like deal with people like that, especially when you're like struggling at the moment.
Plus I also find like some of the stuff, because I'm self-taught, I don't really know a good way to
Mm-hmm.
like teach it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those who's definitely like, 'cause everyone learns differently, and I'm definitely a very like hands-on learner.
Mm-hmm.
I learn by doing, not by like seeing and stuff. So, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to walk people through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I try to teach my oldest brother a bit, like when he does his character designs as well, because he's also a new author, I guess. He's right now he's doing like a something like a light novel as well
Oh,
online.
cool.
So yeah, so he was like drawing his characters, and I took a look. So uh, I asked him like, "Hey, can I fix your characters for you?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, sure." Cause whenever we draw together, our ideas seem to like match a lot. So it's like how Mashiro and Takagi from Bakuman um
Yeah.
managed to match their ideas.
I think it helps a lot, like especially like when you're related or know somebody really well, because
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of shared ideas.
Yep.
'Cause, yeah, I probably work the best if for because I've done some collab work as far as not even just art but even writing manga, and like my
Mm-hmm.
older sister I work like Kit and I work super great with, and then Eros, who I've done some gaming with, he has no artistic skills.
Mm-hmm.
His stick figures even look questionable, but
Mm-hmm.
he's really good at like writing and picking up like the slack that
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing. Like I'm horrible at comedy, so
Yeah.
he's helped take some of my stuff and actually make it, a little less dark humor and actually add some, funny stuff in it.
Yep.
So yeah, sometimes you just find people that like work really well with you, and that's
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yep.
Definitely good for like exploring like sharing ideas.
Mm-hmm. So when did you start like stories, by the way? Like before doing stories as a work.
Well, I actually wrote my first ever story I wrote was with a friend in 4th grade about talking dogs in space.
Oh, so that's how it started then.
Yeah, and then after that, I wrote some really bad fantasy stories, and I had a series of
Mm-hmm.
elf OCs,
Oh,
and like it
what
slowly
is it about though?
evolved. It was about it was kind of an isekai actually, I guess, because that's
Oh,
basically what it would have been back then, even though those didn't really exist in the same form they are now. But
uh-huh.
she was working. It started with a girl who was working, helping out at her family's pizza delivery shop,
Mm-hmm.
and basically ended up finding this pendant and getting
Mm-hmm.
sucked into this world and finding out that she was actually like a half elf and from
Oh.
this world initially. And like the prophecy had, like some general prophecy thing was like, hey, we need
Mm-hmm.
you to help save us and all that kind of crap. So
Yep.
she had to learn how to do that, and she herself was kind of boring, but like
Mm-hmm.
the other characters were like insane and hilarious, and
Oh.
just weird. And there were like generations of them, so like she was
Mm-hmm.
technically I think the 3rd generation, because the 2nd generation actually failed.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like no, my favorite out of those stories is actually the 2nd gen story, because I went back and wrote it way later, and yeah, she fails, she
Mm-hmm.
messed up.
Oh.
Like I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, it's pretty common like for us to like write isekai genres like around fourth or something somewhere around in middle school. Cause I also did like a self story, I guess,
Yeah.
like a isekai as well, but I base it mostly on my friends. So it was like cause we're like six best friends, and I based pretty much the main characters from me and my friends. So
I
and
definitely had influence from my friends and mine too, so I think that's really
yeah,
common.
yeah, and there's this like a theme of like gods and stuff. Yeah, the cringy Chunibyo stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. Like I think we all
Hmm.
did that.
Yeah, I think it's still I still like keep on doing like keep on doing it like when I got into freshman in high school. And I think when I started high school. That's the time when I started like doing edgy stuff, I guess.
I actually probably wrote my first manga, outright comic like manga style thing in
Mm-hmm.
would have been near the end of middle school, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a magical girl series, which nobody ever expects from me. So
Oh.
it is awful. I found some of the pages in my parents' basement once, and I was like, why?
Actually, I wasn't really into magical girls until I found out Card Captor Sakura.
Yeah, that was about the time I was watching that, which I think is why.
Yeah, yeah, but I really don't know how I'm more into Card Captor instead of like the Sailor Moon stuff.
Ah,
So
I
yeah,
like I
there's like a
started with
big
Sailor
difference.
Moon, but I
Oh,
definitely think that CCS has like a overall better characters and better stories. I'm also a huge Clamp fan, so
yeah. Yeah, I think Clamp did a pretty good job, like with the magic and stuff, like with females, I
yeah.
guess. Yeah,
Well, I
it kind
also
of.
like that there's like,
Mhm.
it's not just like a lighthearted, fluffy story. There's darker elements,
Mhm.
and not like Madoka
Yeah,
dark, but it's real
yeah,
world dark.
yeah. I think that sa CCS pretty much introduced me to like to Madoka as well, because I think Madoka was like the darker side of CCS when I first watched it. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's why. Actually, I think that's why a lot of us watch Madoka. We're like, it's a dark magical girl. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you seen the Maho Shoujo website though?
No, I haven't.
Actually, I've seen that, but I haven't finished it. But I think it's much more darker than the Madoka Magica.
That's what I've heard. I honestly
Mm-hmm.
haven't really watched much of anything lately because
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of the pandemic last year,
Yep.
I decided I
Mm-hmm.
was gonna watch all of Gundam in order.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You keep posting like Gundam stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
Gundam 00. We're almost done with the first season, so we're
Mm-hmm.
making it through. I think we've got like Iron Blooded Orphans after that, and then like the Build Strike ones, and we're done.
Mm-hmm.
So we've made it through a lot, but that's all I've really been watching is a lot of Gundam. Not that I mind. I really like giant robots.
Oh.
Eh,
I think I might be the one of like those weird otakus that doesn't really watch a lot of Gundam though.
There's actually a lot who
Yeah.
don't. I mean, that's not that uncommon. I don't know
Yeah.
that many people who, like, I know
Yeah.
a lot of people who have like might have seen like Wing growing up
Mhm.
because a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
us
yeah.
had access to Toonami and stuff at the same time, but a lot of them
Mhm.
didn't follow through with it. Where
Yeah.
I really liked the concept of the giant robots, and then I saw
Mhm.
8th MS Team and I fell in love with the Gundam franchise. So,
Mhm.
because 8th MS Team is so good.
Oh.
Yeah, I like the more obscure ones generally, but my
Mhm.
favorite giant robot series isn't even a Gundam series, so.
Oh. I think the only like Gundam thingy related that I've watched a lot was the aside from Wing, it's the Gurren Lagann.
I have never actually seen Gurren Lagann because
Wait, what?
one of my friends spoiled it for me, so I never wanted to watch it.
Well,
Yeah,
give it a try at least,
I
though.
will watch it at some point, but yeah, I was really pissed at
Mm-hmm.
them because they didn't outright say it, but they were like, "Oh, my favorite character dies," and I'm like, "You realize I know
Oh.
you well enough to know who your favorite character would be."
Oh.
I was like, "Come on, man!" Like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of like spoilers for some things. I refused to watch
Mm-hmm.
Yu Yu Hakusho for a while back in this would have been back in like middle school
Mm-hmm.
because my
Mm-hmm.
friends wouldn't stop talking about it and trying to give me spoilers.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm. Uh, yeah, I think recently I started to become like that when they were like posting like Slime Tensei. I was like, don't spoil it for me. I gotta finish my work.
Yeah.
Cause this year I was like, I want to like lessen watching anime, cause I want to like focus on drawing and stuff. But my friends in Facebook were like, oh, Rimmer is like doing this and that. I was like, I don't want to visit my feed.
Yeah, no, that's actually why I also stayed away from Attack on Titan for the longest time because of that same
Oh
reason.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And then I
But
finally
yeah,
decided to
mm-hmm,
watch it because I was like, you know
yeah,
what, I'll try it. I don't think I'm quite as bad like with some of the spoilers now as I was back
mm-hmm,
then, but I still don't really like to know things. I like to make my off-wall guesses and laugh when they come
mm-hmm.
true
Oh, mm-hmm.
Because I'm notorious for making really crazy guesses about series and then having them come true.
Oh, actually, I tried watching like reaction videos, like how they will react on the Attack on Titan, like because it's already in the last season, so I wanted to know like how other people perceived it, because I'm actually more on following the manga, so I kind of know how
Yeah.
it's gonna end.
Well, like
So I wanna
I
see
knew
like
who
how
I
it
knew who
goes
was
in
gonna
the
die
anime.
this season, like really early
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yep.
My fiance's whacking me and saying no. You saw it already. Like I was like when we got to that episode, I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. He's gonna be really mad. But
Oh.
I knew it was coming. So yeah, like with that one, I know more spoiler things than I probably should. And there's a couple other series.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I heard him.
Yeah, you might have heard him screaming "No more" in the background.
Wait, so how far are you guys in Attack on Titan, by the way?
We were watching the third season, but we've kind
Mm-hmm.
of paused it because we're trying to finish Gundam. So
Oh, I see, I see, I see.
yeah, so we were
Oh.
up to date with the season and we were watching it as it came out for a while, but we're not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Hi,
Oh.
Ranafe, enjoy your walk. You popped on just to tell me she's leaving me on while she takes a walk. It's
Oh.
nice out today. I want to try to take a
Oh.
walk, but last time I did that, my body hated me for it. So
Uh, in my area, it's pretty much raining though.
oh, that sucks. It's really nice and sunny
Yeah,
here. But you know, I think
I
we're on
want the
opposite
sun.
ends.
Yeah.
Don't we all want sunny? No, it was
Yep.
so cold here for a while, so I'm like so glad that finally we're getting like spring weather.
Yep. Actually, I keep like complaining like it's so cold. Like whenever I wake up, it's cold even though there's already snow season is already done. It's
Oh,
still
we've
cold.
gotten snow as late as like April. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest blizzards we ever had in this area. We had like
Oh.
it knocked out the power for like 3 days because I remember
Ooh.
us. I was like probably I was in elementary school and I remember us literally using our gas powered stove to get heat because we had
Oh,
gas at my parents' house.
dang.
So yeah, like it was like end of April. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't trust the weather now. I know what you're up to. Don't give me
Yeah.
false hopes.
Mm-hmm. Actually, the cold weather here makes me miss Philippines, the heat.
What is it like? I don't really actually know too much about the Philippines. I
Mm-hmm.
tutor a kid who's from it, so I've learned a little bit from
Mm-hmm.
him, and he's
Yep.
brought me back some cool like souvenirs and food from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the main souvenirs will be food because Philippines really pretty much a lot on food stuff. So when you go there, you can pretty much buy anything.
Well, food is always good. We actually have a
Yeah.
Asian mart. It's just called Fresh Mart, right next to one of the stores like UPS I have to go to all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
they I learned yesterday from talking to them. They always had some
Mm-hmm.
Filipino food, but yeah, they are indeed
Yep.
Filipino, and they were like
Mm-hmm.
making recommendations because I always buy their ensemadas because I love freaking ensemadas so much.
Oh yeah, I missed that one. Yeah,
I had some
was
for
it the
lunch
big
today too.
ones?
They actually were out of the big ones this time, so I just had to get like the mini bite-sized ones. But I love the big
Oh
ones; they're even better.
yeah, the big ones are always better. Because if it's just the small one, it's just like eating it's like eating a Hawaiian what I wonder what's the name of the brand? The Hawaiian bread?
Oh, like King's Hawaiian Roll.
Yeah.
At
It
least the
kind
ones that
of
I
seems
got
like
have
that.
actually like because they still have like the cheese and the like the cream or whatever on top of it, like the buttery stuff on top of it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
we
yeah,
threw
yeah.
it in the toaster, so I had
Oh.
it for lunch earlier today
Oh.
because I bought like a huge pack because they only had like the big pack, so I have like a I think there are like 20 in there. It's about halfway gone
Oh.
already.
Yeah. You won't realize that it's already gone.
Oh, it's so good. No, so I'm like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna complain. I love those. So it's so nice that we
Mhm.
have some of the stuff around my place because for the
Mhm.
longest time it would like you didn't find stuff like that. What did I pick the wrong? Yeah, I dropped the wrong color. That's why.
Mhm. But have you tried any like main dishes as well?
Yeah, I don't know what the dish I tried was, but they had we went there and one time and they had like actually had set up like some random like food dishes that you could just like take out with you to go and just reheat. So we tried some of those.
Oh,
It was
okay.
so good. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to try more for sure because I am really easygoing about most food in general, and like I
Mm-hmm.
love trying food from different cultures and ethnicities that we don't have access to.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, it's nice that everything actually has flavor, unlike because I mean obviously I'm like white, so I've got the whole
Mm-hmm.
crazy European vibe going. But
Oh.
yeah, no, like European food is so bland. I prefer Asian and Hispanic food.
Mm-hmm. Then you should give dinuguan a try.
What is it called?
Dinuguan.
Go on. I'll have to
Yeah.
try to remember how to see if I can spell
Yep.
that.
Yeah. It's pretty much pig's blood stew.
Oh, I've had pig's
Yeah.
blood.
Yep. It's like a stew but with pig's blood, or I think it was beef blood, I guess. Yeah, I think it's more pig's blood.
Yeah, because I would say we've gone to dim sum in our area because we're not too far from Chicago's Chinatown. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
my fiance is from Hong Kong initially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cause I mostly eat like I'm pretty much the only kid who cooks Filipino dishes in our family. So, cause
Oh,
my yeah, cause my younger brothers were like just keep on cooking hot dogs and stuff, like processed stuff. It makes me miss like homemade cooking. So
yeah.
yeah, I pretty much cook uh whatever Filipino food I can cook, cause I really feel bad, like cause my parents are busy, so they
Yeah.
they have less time to like cook food like how we used to eat. So I try to like at least keep on saving culture, I guess.
I think that's cool though. That's good that you're doing that. We do a lot of like Chinese cooking and stuff here. So
Mm-hmm.
and Japanese, which I actually can do the Japanese one. I'm learning
Oh.
though, and I want to learn how to do like more. Baking is
Mm-hmm.
my favorite thing to do, so I
Mm-hmm.
mainly like to focus on desserts, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
everything is
think
interesting.
I've tried cooking few Japanese food, I guess, like mochi and stuff,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not really good like making sushi, I guess. I tried making some, but it just turns out to be like a simple maki roll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can like well, for sushi isn't too hard. I used to do like basic
Mhm.
rolls for almost like a California roll thing
Mhm.
when like I was younger. But I also do like I can make tamagoyaki pretty well, which is
Oh.
weird because that's apparently really hard to do, and I can't do some other stuff, but I can make tamagoyaki. So yeah, I'll make tamagoyaki and do like nigiri with that.
Mhm.
We don't always have the best fish around here, so
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to do like the raw fish stuff, which sucks because I love it.
Mhm. Have you tried the do you really add sugar on the tamagoyaki?
I don't add sugar per se. What I
Mhm.
use is let's see, it's mirin, which is
Oh,
basically like
okay.
a mix of sugar and sake. So if you
Oh,
ever
okay.
need it in a recipe and don't have it, that's how you make it. But
Mhm.
I like because I like it sweeter than saltier, so I like to do more
Mhm.
mirin than shoyu mix. But I don't make it like super sweet or anything.
Oh. Yeah, cuz I was like wondering, is it like does the sugar really go well with like eggs and stuff?
It
Cuz I
does.
never ate eggs with like sugar even, cuz I mostly eat like salty food and stuff, cuz yeah. I
I
guess
like
my
ketchup
yeah.
with my eggs, so I'm used to having a bit of sweetness with it.
Uh,
Not extreme though, but I actually am not a big fan of like super sweet foods, which is another reason why
mhm.
I really like Asian desserts and stuff because they're not as sweet.
Mhm. Have you tried the banana ketchup though?
Yes, actually.
Oh, I see. Yeah, cause the ketchup here in America is mostly tomato, right?
Yeah.
So when I started like using like the Heinz ketchup, which is tomato based, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what kind of ketchup is this? It's so like a little bit of sourness. I was like disappointed because I in Philippines we usually buy the banana ketchup. It's much more common, so
Yeah.
it has like a milder taste. So yeah, I
My
think
mother
I
uses it
yeah.
to make it's she likes making this Filipino pork thing that we like
Mhm.
for when we have Christmas dinner usually, because we
Mhm.
do it at my house. So there's not
Mhm.
many of us who come, but so that's
Mhm.
usually what she does is she'll make the pork thing, and it uses the
Mhm.
banana ketchup in it. So I've
Oh.
had it because of that, because that Asian Mart once again has it. So when we first
Mhm.
saw it, we're like, oh man, let's get this and try new recipes.
Yep. Actually, banana ketchup is used in Jollibee's spaghetti. That's why
Oh,
it really is sweet.
yeah, I tried
Yeah.
I didn't try. I've never had Jollibees, obviously, because they don't exist over here. But
Mhm.
we got like a pre-package of Filipino spaghetti sauce from that same store, and I was like so
Yep.
surprised how much sweeter it was than like what I'm
Yeah.
used to. But I really liked it. It was really good, and we put hot dogs in it too, because
Yep. Yep.
yeah, that's what my apparently Wong had a his housekeeper back in Hong Kong was
Mhm.
Filipino, so he was like, it
Mhm.
has memories. She'd always make this for me, and so I'm like, oh, let's try
Mhm.
it. Nice and
Yep.
simple, and it was really yummy.
Yeah, that's why a lot of like Americans wonder like why our spaghetti dishes were like a little bit sweeter. It's just that they don't realize that we use like banana ketchup, not the actual like tomato ketchup.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I think at least like when I do pasta, like make pasta
Mhm.
sauce from scratch even here, I don't usually use ketchup in it, but
Mhm.
a period.
Mhm.
But yeah, there are some that like will literally just call for like sugar or something instead.
Yep. Do you add cheese though?
Oh, of course.
Oh. For me, I rarely add cheese to my like pasta and stuff.
I love cheese. It is one of my favorite foods.
Oh, I only like cheese when it's the powdered ones.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
because sometimes like for me with a lot of foods, it's more the texture than it is like the taste of the food a lot. Like I can
Mhm.
love how something smells. Like I really love the smell and taste of oatmeal, but I can't eat it most of the time because I don't like the texture.
Mm.
So sometimes it's just like a thing like that where it's, and sometimes it is just like the taste itself is different too. But that's
Yep.
actually not that uncommon.
Mhm.
My case, no, I'll eat any cheese as long as it's not the moldy stuff. When you start getting into blue cheese, ick.
I haven't tried that one yet.
Oh my god, too much Wong loves it, but it smells so bad. And I know it's like cultured mold, but I'm still like, no.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't want to eat mold on my food.
Oh yeah. How about durians? Have
Oh,
you tried one?
yeah, they're disgusting.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like durian. But that's okay.
Oh.
Neither does Wong, so they don't come in this house.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, apparently like the rest of his family does, and he's like, nope, I can't.
But was it the fruit ones you guys have tried, or just the actual fruit?
The actual
Yeah.
fruit.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, cause there's also like products like the candy ones.
Yeah, which I usually
Yeah.
avoid because I'm like, I didn't like the fruit. I don't think I'm gonna like
Mhm.
this. But I don't really know if they're using like a more artificial flavor because
Mhm.
like I know for instance like the banana flavor that you get,
Mhm.
the artificial banana they do. The reason that it tastes so different than
Mhm.
everything we're used to is because it's
Yep.
based off of a banana that doesn't exist anymore.
Mhm.
So it's like hard to judge it. But like
Oh.
obviously if it's something like that or like artificial watermelon never tastes like real watermelon.
Mhm.
I'd probably be willing to try it, but I'd also be concerned.
Yeah, cause it really Speaking, cause speaking of durian reminded me of like cause my mom went out like on a grocery shopping last week, and
Uh-huh.
she bought this durian flavored mochi, and I was like, what's it gonna taste?
Oh no. Yeah, like that
Yeah,
sounds like an odd mixture.
yeah. Surprisingly, it tastes pretty good.
That's good at
Yeah,
least.
I think there's like a little bit of funkiness to it, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty okay. I don't know why they call it king of fruits though.
I don't either.
Yeah, it seems so weird. Like it has like a weird smell, but it are
Yeah.
kings all like that?
Maybe all kings smell. I think that's what we're supposed to take away from it.
Probably.
Go find some kings and smell them. I say I don't know what it would be called in like any other language, but like so there's a
Mhm.
fruit, it's biwa in Japanese and it's peepaw
Mhm.
in Chinese. Loquat is the
Mhm.
English name, but most people don't know it. It is really good. That's one of my favorite
Oh,
fruits.
loquat. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. It's like I don't know what you guys would know about if it's something that you guys have over there too.
I think loquat is I'd say more uncommon in Philippines because we only mostly taste it from like medicine, like
Oh,
cough
yeah,
medicine.
okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah, because
they
I see it
mostly
all the
add
time
that.
in that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I
they
like it
mostly
as a
add that.
fruit.
Oh, as a fruit.
I don't like the medicine flavor of it at all, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's also the menthol, like yeah, so it
yeah.
really affects it.
Yeah, because I when I was in Japan, so I went over to Japan to study in
Mm-hmm.
would have been summers of 2004 and 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And it was in season both times I was there. And it
Mm-hmm.
just kind of became a joke with the other people there too, because they'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we need to give you like some kind of present. And they're just like, we're gonna bribe you with fruit. Like, yes, please.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I heard that fruit was is pretty expensive there.
It is. Like
Yeah.
compared to what we're used to paying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it also differs like in prefectures too. Cause I recently I keep watching this channel in YouTube. Do you know Trash Taste?
No.
They're like anime YouTubers. Like they do like reviews and stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, cause right now they're stationed in Japan right now. So uh they're one is half Japanese, which is the anime man, and there's this Thai YouTuber. Um, he's the one behind Anizone.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, his name is Gigak.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other one is which I think his name in YouTube is Sea Dog VA. And I heard from them like how they spent their lives there in Japan. So it's kind of pretty interesting when I first saw them.
Oh, that is. Yeah.
Mm,
It's definitely like it's not as different as like everyone always makes it seem like to sound,
mm-hmm.
but it's still, not what a lot of people expect, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I was like, 'cause I know everyone, especially like a lot of the teachers and stuff were worried about me getting like some kind of culture shock. I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
none.
yeah. Oh.
None whatsoever. The closest thing I came to is those toilets in the floor, the holes in the floor or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the what? Wait, the sewage.
Well, they're
Yeah.
like so
Uh,
they're back in the day they were used for like it's like you were wearing a kimono or whatever. So
uh-huh.
that's why they're set up like it so you can just kind of like squat and use it. But nowadays it's kind of
I see, I
weird.
see.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I got stuck in one of those one time because it was like, waiting in line for bathroom
Mm-hmm.
at Kabuki and I'm like in shorts
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Oh.
I was like the closest thing, and I mean, obviously, I came up with the solution fast, but it was just like for me, that was like the closest thing, and just because I hadn't like really thought about that, and I was like, right,
Mm-hmm.
they do still have them sometimes. It's not common, but they do still exist.
Oh, I better get myself ready then.
Oh, just if you go to Japan, just try
Mm-hmm.
to stay away from where there's like a lot of mainland China tourists, or at least
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you go like, because we went super early to a lot of the touristy spots just to avoid them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because they can get really messy and be really
Mm-hmm.
rude. So
Mm-hmm.
it's better to like avoid them. Well, we also kept wandering off of like tourist locations, period, because both of us know enough Japanese to get ourselves around.
Oh. So
But
how was your Japanese when you went like recently?
oh, when I went recently,
Yeah.
like my
Uh-huh.
Japanese is great now. We actually ended up staying at a ryokan in Hakone, and they didn't
Mm-hmm.
speak a lick of English,
Oh,
but it
like
was fun.
mhm. Like was it like straight on Japanese? They don't really use long words, I guess.
Well, I mean, were talking to us like with keigo and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and like typical
Mm-hmm.
what you'd expect, like hotel owners, or I guess I should say like fancy ryokan owners to use. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it was just, to me it was really normal and expected. And there
Mm-hmm.
was only one like really, I don't even say like major, but there was one minor
Mm-hmm.
mishap, because
Mm-hmm.
the next day we were going to a car rental place to
Uh-huh.
they had some of the initial D cars, and Wong wanted to
Oh.
rent them. That's actually where he
Mm-hmm.
proposed to me. But
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, we were like,
yeah.
we don't know,
Mm-hmm.
the place is weird because it's under a different name. So we were
Mm-hmm.
trying to like explain that we're trying to get a taxi there. And they were
Mm-hmm.
like, well, this place doesn't exist. And so there was a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
confusion. But then
Oh.
the concierge was able to find it like via the web, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it does exist, and yes, it's at this location, and got it all taken care of. But
Mm-hmm.
the proprietress didn't understand
Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So she had us call him again, and we're like,
Mm-hmm.
why are we calling him again? We don't know what to say
Mm-hmm.
to him. And Wong
Mm-hmm.
was on the phone, and he's like, I don't know. And so finally he's like, Ego, like, English, like, can you speak English? Can we
Mm-hmm.
do this, try to do some English for this? Because I don't know what the problem is, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
confused. And so
Mm-hmm.
the guy was just like, oh, okay, and hung up. And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. He came later with a Go board
Mm-hmm.
because he thought it was Ego and not Ego.
Yeah.
It was really funny, and he was really excited, like, the foreigners are gonna play Go, and we're both like, well, we can play it badly, but that Go board looked
Mm-hmm.
way too expensive for us to try to play it on.
Uh,
Yeah, no, it was just really funny, and like,
mm-hmm.
and we did a lot of things like that, and we used
Mm-hmm.
they have like their variation of Yelp for like food reviews. So
Mm-hmm.
we were using, it's called Tabelog, and we were using
Mm-hmm.
that to find restaurants, which meant they were like not generally places you would find foreigners at.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them, when we walked in, because I have 36 inches of blonde hair, they'd just be horrified and like,
Mm-hmm.
oh crap, I don't know what to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
an American. What do we can't talk to her.
Oh.
And
they,
then like
mm-hmm.
that moment of like, relief on their faces when we started both of us started asking Japanese for stuff and
Mm-hmm.
ordering in Japanese. They're like, oh God, thank
Yeah.
God.
Oh. Yeah, I think most mainland Asians have that kind of like anxiety when like speaking with Caucasian people,
Yeah.
especially when they're Americans. So it really gives us like there's like this slight anxiety, like, oh, what does this foreigner want, what do they want from us?
Well, I know with me too,
Yeah.
it's like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I look so much, so foreigner because I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's for a lot of people, like they don't ever expect me to be the one who has the stronger Japanese out of the two of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean it's because I've had more practice with it, more so. But yeah, so they're always like really concerned, and they'd always like look at Wong and be like, "What
Mm-hmm.
is?" And then like he'd have to look at me and like, "I don't know, help me," and then I'd answer. But I got that
It's
even
like
back when I was in there for college, and my Japanese wasn't as good back then.
mhm. It's like that one YouTube video where where this foreign looking customers, and they went to like a Japanese restaurant and they tried taking an order, but this but this server kept looking on the Asian looking foreigner that doesn't even know how to speak
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah, because I mean, generally speaking, you would
Mhm.
expect it's pretty common to like expect that yeah, the one who's
Mhm.
Asian is more likely to have the opportunities to learn it.
Mhm.
So I mean, I don't feel like they were being like, rude or anything to it. I could
Yeah.
understand. So that's why I always made sure to
Mhm.
say something to them in Japanese so they knew,
Mhm.
no, you guys are
Yep.
cool. I can read this. I can speak it. If you guys need to
Mhm.
talk to me or, have problems or anything, like don't worry. I'm not gonna like, throw you to the bus. I got this. We're good.
Mhm. But even though you're white, do you get some misconceptions by others, like they want to know like what nationality you are?
I think most people like, well, especially with my real last name, most people assume I'm
Mhm.
really heavily Polish. It's not actually that much. I'm mostly
Mhm.
German.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's I think for the most part everyone just always assumes I'm American, and they're right, I am.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know like even I tutor children in Japanese. So there was a
Mhm.
lot of people the first time they're like, "Oh, this is a Japanese teacher." They're like, "Where?" It's like, this white
Mhm.
girl right
Oh.
here. Yeah, I don't biggest misconception I've ever had was actually when I was in Japan, they were really surprised like back
Mhm.
when I was there for school. I'm really
Mhm.
polite to, especially like
Mhm.
when you're in another country and stuff. Like I always try to follow their culture
Uh-huh.
and their rules. And in
Yep.
general, like I was taught from a young age by my mother to be like, polite to your elders and stuff. Like really, I guess what they
Mhm.
consider like Asian values. But like,
Yep.
my mother was just, she's just that kind of person too, where she believes like, you should be nice to people and respect them and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I've always
Mhm.
been like that. And like, they pointed out to me when I was there that they were really surprised how quiet and like polite I was because they
Mhm.
expected me to be more loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, yeah,
I told them I could
yeah,
try harder.
yeah.
Cause yeah, I tend to be more loud and obnoxious with like people I know, but like when you're in a sitting
Mhm.
like that, like I'm not gonna be that kind of person.
Mhm.
And plus, I was really nervous because that was my first time traveling alone, and my first time on a plane, and my first time out of the country, all on the same trip.
Oh. Wait, when was it again?
That one would have been 2004, so it's been a while. Cause yeah,
Oh.
I did 2004 and 5 from school, and then 2019 was my vacation over there.
Mm. I haven't traveled abroad by myself then, but I actually want to like travel to Japan at one point. But
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
everyone who wants to gets a chance. It's so nice. We want to go
Mm.
back and cuz we basically well, we went to a little bit in Kansai cuz we spent a couple days in Osaka and then in Kyoto.
Mhm.
And then we were taking the Shinkansen because then that's why we stopped at Hakone on the way
Mhm.
back to Tokyo. And then we did
Mhm.
Komike, so that was we had to get
Mhm.
back to Tokyo for that.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got to do Komike.
yeah,
That was
I
fun.
think one of your posts were like you guys really like rushed everything like on the second half of you guys trip.
I don't know if I'd say like rush, but yeah, we spent a lot of time in Tokyo, but like 4 of those
Mhm.
days was a lot of going to Komike and that's it. And like one of the days that was shorter, we ended up my host mother from when I was over there in school,
Yep.
she had lived
Mhm.
in like Chiba area. I
Oh.
see you have found the paint bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
I did
trying
that. I
to
do that all
I'm
the
trying
time to
to
other
fill it
people.
up. Yeah.
But yeah, no, so it's like that was like our one really like free day. But we did also do things like we went to the Monster Hunter Cafe and accidentally
Mhm.
went to the Gundam cafes 3 times, which is
Oh.
what, started. We went to multiple different locations, but that's kind of what started my I want to watch all of Gundam now because I missed some of the
Mhm.
series. But yeah, like so I mean we did do, but we also didn't get to do well, I don't know that when we were even looking around at Tokyo, there wasn't quite as much stuff as we wanted to sightsee and stuff in there as there was in some of the other places. So
Mhm.
that helped, I think. But yeah, we want to
This
go back and do like Hiroshima because I want to go to like the Yokai Museum
Mhm.
that just opened up there.
Oh no, this pink bucket.
Yeah, you have to make sure like it's all like totally filled in.
Mm-hmm.
I've on every other stream, you're the first person I haven't accidentally dumped a color fill on.
Oh.
You got to do it instead. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not used to like doing fewer layers, so.
Yeah, you can do as many as you need. I know I'm just doing all
Mm-hmm.
of my colors on the same layer because I'm lazy. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
very odd for me.
Yeah, because usually I compile them like in a folder.
Yeah, I do the
So I,
same.
yeah, so most of my like PSD files were like uh there are like layer 20 or something.
I name my layers at least, but yeah, like I think
Yeah.
one of my one of my most heavy layered pieces of art, because
Mm-hmm.
I went back and redid stuff on it later, I think has
Mm-hmm.
about 1200 layers in it. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh! I can move that. Oh my, what happened? Oh no. But yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like used to doing so many more layers in this. And I'm used to like, because there's no way to like folder them or like, group
Mm-hmm.
them. You can like link them, but that's it. I'm like, that's not the same because I can't hide them, and then I have too many layers and they're obnoxious and in my way.
I think I figured out how to color this stuff.
Good.
Yep. Just use the paintbrush.
Yeah, I was like, what I normally do is like, because I'm doing it under the line art layer, what I normally do is like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, make like a little circle of color where I'm coloring it and then just fill in that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that will keep it from like going all over the place.
Yep. Yeah, I
What
think
program do you normally
huh?
use then?
Oh, when I draw?
Yeah.
I mostly trained myself like with paint tools I a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I
need to try
actually
that one.
wanted I actually wanted to consider using a CSP, the
Yeah.
paint. Yeah, but I'm still just saving up for that because my most of my friends use a CSP because I guess they were more into like the brushes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's much easier to customize your brushes with the CSP. That's why maybe they were leaning onto that program a lot.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've never actually tried that one either, but I grew up with Photoshop because I grew up with Mac computers. So I started
Mhm.
on Photoshop 4,
Mhm.
not CS4, 4. So like that's what I am using.
Mhm.
But I've heard good things about like some of the other ones too. So I was just
Mhm.
curious. Everyone has like their own preference, but it's fun and
Yeah.
stuff works better for some people than it does for others too.
Mhm. Actually, one of my friends use fire alpaca, and I've
Oh.
seen that. Yeah, yeah, from what I've seen, it's something like similar to Sai as well.
Yeah, a lot of them have a lot of similarities. It comes down
Mhm.
a lot to it is like pricing and specifically, oh, I'm saving these by accident all the time. But
Mhm. Yeah.
but like, you know, what they're looking for too.
Actually, another friend as well uses a different one, which is the ibis.
Yeah, I've heard stuff about
Yeah.
Ibis
Yeah.
or however you say
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I think it's red as ibis mostly. So yeah, he uses that and he draws with just his finger. He keeps on drawing like
Oh
low
my
and
gosh,
stuff.
yeah, I see
Yeah.
people do like finger drawings and I was like, "Why? How?
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
do this? That's no fair."
Yep. It was so amazing. Like, how did you pull this?
I'm so jealous when people can do that. I used to do all my
Yeah.
stuff with my mouse, so
Mm-hmm. Actually, I started drawing inside with a mouse too, but it was so clunky that it didn't really feel right.
yeah, that's why like the main reason I never picked up Psy back in the day was I was
Hmm.
told with the mouse that it wasn't as, you know, beneficial.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just stuck with Photoshop and my slightly less
Mm-hmm.
than legal copy my father had gotten me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Saya is more tablet friendly. That's why
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, even my oldest brother, he used to try paint tool Sai before, but he kind of gave up like a few months, I guess, using it.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's why he's more into like using Photoshop instead.
yeah. I mean, I think like with definitely more. Okay, yeah. Rana Faye agrees. It's more tablet friendly. She's back from her walk.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like I think for me one of the main reasons that I use Photoshop over some of the others too is the fact that I do other stuff as well.
Hmm.
Like sometimes I'll do like some photo editing and stuff. So
Yeah.
having the benefits to do some of those other stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I only mostly use Photoshop like when editing pictures and stuff, or adding text as well. Cause there were back then I actually tried to like
Oh,
imitate
oops.
light novel illustrations that has like text on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to
God
like
damn it.
draw things like that.
I mean, I think we all start by like mimicking other things though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think the hardest thing to pull off with drawing a light novel style of artwork will be the how they actually use the colors, because
Yeah.
there, yeah, because there's this I always follow this artist of a certain magical index.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like the art style of Haimura Kiyotaka, so I try to like influence my art style a lot from his work. So when I tried like imitating his stuff, I can only manage to like copy some few of them, but I can't really like I can't really manage to imitate how he does it.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I've got people like
Yeah.
I see I'm like I really like this style and I'm like I try to mimic it and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm totally off.
Yeah.
All right, Rana
Yeah.
Faye, explain what you think I'd like in CSP because you know well enough what kind of stuff I like to draw with. So
Oh.
she's like, yeah, you'd probably like CSP a lot because she's been experimenting with it
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you have artist friends so you can bug them about stuff.
Yeah.
No, I think that's
Yeah.
I think having like other friends who are into some of the same stuff is great, like
Mm-hmm.
and as far as hobbies, because it's a great resource. And like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you're not like using them because you're giving back too, but it's just nice to have
Yep.
somebody to like talk about. It's like, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, I don't actually know a whole lot of people who also write. So
Yeah.
there, that's one of those big loopholes. And I've made
Mm-hmm.
some other author friends, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them I've noticed are super clicky, and I don't write romance, and that seems to be the big click in this area at least.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my cat
Yeah.
meowed at me. What do you want, Arata? What? Okay, I'll pet you.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up from his nap time, so he needed pets.
Oh. Just the usual routine.
Yep. Yeah, like, no, it was weird because he's like, usually when he screams, he wants something, but no, he just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
come over and get a pet. And now he's
Oh.
going to eat. Cats, man. I love them. They're so weird.
Hmm. Well, my younger brother's cat just stays in their room. He pretty much she pretty never goes out a lot. So I
Oh,
guess, yeah, I guess he's just stuck in their room.
my cat is super social. So we have two cats because we have Wong's cat
Mm-hmm.
and mine. So yeah, but my cat is like a social butterfly. As soon as somebody comes to
Mm-hmm.
our door, he is always like there to greet them.
Uh,
Yeah, he loves people and he loves
mm-hmm.
getting pets and scritches. And
Mm-hmm.
his favorite thing in the world is straws. So if people bring him straws,
Mm-hmm.
he loves them even more.
It's like an offering. Like, I give this to you. So please pet.
Yeah. Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
it was really funny because our landlady here, because we're renting
Mm-hmm.
our place.
Mm-hmm.
When she had been looking after our yard while we were in Japan, because we talked to her
Uh-huh.
and we were like, well, because my
Mm-hmm.
mother my parents live really close and she offered to come do it.
Mm-hmm.
But like
Mm-hmm.
my landlady's like, oh no, it's fine, I'll do it. It's not any. I have to come and do the next house over because they were still
Mm-hmm.
uh doing we're getting it ready for another renter or whatever. So she's like, I'll just do yours too. Well, apparently she
Oh.
kept seeing my cat Arata like by the window because he'd
Mm-hmm.
always be like, what's going on? I'm gonna watch you.
Mhm.
So one day when she had to come in to do some repair work, as soon
Mhm.
as she comes in and he walks up to her, she's like, "I've been wanting to meet this cat," and she was so excited. I was like, "Yeah, no, he's not what most people expect cats to be. He's super
Mhm.
friendly."
Mhm. I guess Arta also had the same sentiment too. Like I've always want to meet you too, like that.
Yeah. No, like yeah, like I said, he is like so good with people. It's great.
Mhm.
Ranafe agrees. Yeah. I think a lot of my friends got to meet him when I first got him too. So I dressed him up in a
Oh.
little detective outfit. It was his first introduction to a lot of people. I don't like this layer anymore. Goodbye, layer. I get rid of you. Oops. Delete. Okay. Try it again. He's my baby Ranafe. You have plenty of babies on your own. Don't forget about Rin.
I was actually considering like getting myself as well a cat, but I guess with how I do my studies and work, it doesn't really work out because I really wanted to uh create make a extra time for them, but I guess there's not really enough time.
I will say, cats actually are really independent, in the most part.
Mhm.
That's like, because we had, Wong and I were talking like when we were looking into buying a house this year, and
Mhm.
I grew up with dogs, and he's never had a dog.
Mhm.
But he was talking about possibly wanting to get like a dog, and like the more and more we've been talking about it and stuff, it's like he still kind of wants one, but it's also like yeah, like cats, we can go to a con over the weekend and they're fine. You don't have to worry about
Mhm.
having somebody come and let them out. We usually would have somebody come in. Ranafe is like he hasn't had a dog because he is a dog. You're not wrong, Ranafe. But yeah, it's like no, like we would and we can both of our cats that we have here, his cat and mine, we can free feed them because neither one of them overeats, which you can't always do, but you know,
Mhm.
it's like stuff like that. And so like yeah, dog you'd have to have somebody coming over like quite a bit, where a cat you just have somebody come over like once every 2 days and it's fine.
Mhm.
And we have one of those like automatic drinking fountains and stuff for them too. So
Oh.
yeah, no, they're spoiled. And both of us are allergic to cats, which makes it even funnier.
What?
Yeah.
So so you guys were like living in the danger zone then.
Yeah, like, but we love cats too much. And I grew up with cats, so like I didn't know I
Mhm.
had an allergy for a long time.
Mhm.
But like I have a bunch of other allergies too, so I'm already taking like meds for that. So
Mhm. Well, everything seems to do well anyway, so like
yeah.
yeah.
But hey, the plus side is in the future when you have, you know, everything settled in, get a
Mhm.
cat. Do it.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like I have never met a cat that wasn't like wasn't a cat. That was what
Mm.
I said. I've never met a cat that wasn't a cat. That's true. I've never met a cat that wasn't a cat.
Mhm.
English is hard. But no, I've never met a cat that like even the ones that are like more angry or more temperamental, like once
Mhm.
you get their trust, they are so sweet.
Mm.
And they're very good companions and they make for good lap warmers.
Oh. Yeah, I think that's one more to go.
Cats always like my laps. I have lots of thigh for them to sit on. Oh, that's turning out so cute. I looked at yours.
Oh, yeah, I kind of drew them a little bit big, so
That's
sorry about
okay.
that.
No.
Yeah, usually I use like a transform tool inside when I make
Ah.
mistakes. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's I just redraw my line art multiple times. I don't
Mhm.
know, like I'm still learning the anatomy stuff, which is
Mhm.
fine, you know, because that's good. Always learn anatomy, always
Mhm.
improve yourself. I've gotten better
Mhm.
at least.
Mhm.
I'm never sure, but then like when I get compliments from people who never compliment, like, I have one friend who never
Mhm.
does, and she complimented me on my last piece. So I was like, yay, I'm learning.
It's like, oh, you finally saw everything.
Is there a transform in this Oikake? Oh, there is, isn't there?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think
Yeah, there
you
is. Like,
can,
yeah,
yeah.
Ranafe just pointed out
Yeah.
because Ranafe's done a collab with me too, so
Mhm.
she's played with this program as well.
Mhm.
Because she was actually supposed to be my first one initially, because you were the first
Mhm.
one who agreed to it, and then she was the
Oh.
second. And
Mhm.
then we had set the date for her, and then
Mhm.
Rajamitsu was suddenly like, "I have a day off, let's do it." And I was like, "Yes." So Rajamitsu ended up being first. And I've still got to do one with Kitten, and then my friend Kohaku wants to do one, but we have to do like an one. She doesn't have like digital elements, so we'd have to like do it
Mhm.
in person, which we've
Oh.
talked about it because she stopped by my house yesterday to
Mhm.
kill time. Well,
Mhm.
between she got her second dose of COVID vaccine in the morning, and I got mine in the evening, so she had some time to
Oh.
kill after she got hers. And it's like, yeah, no, we're like, we have to. I kind of have an idea how to do it setup wise, but it's gonna be
Mhm.
a lot of work. So like we'll have to like plan a day ahead of time and take a lot of time out of it, because even if we only draw for
Mhm.
like 2 hours or whatever, it's going to be a lot of
Mhm.
setup ahead of it, because our karaoke streams take about an hour to set up because of the ridiculous setup we have going on for it.
Yep.
Oh, awesome, Ranafe. Well, if anybody wants to ever do one with me, or like wants other people, let me know. I love these art collabs. They're so much fun.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
collabs.
Mhm.
I'm one of those streamers who prefers streaming with other people.
For me, it's a new world for me actually. Like doing like collabs such as this, because I never really tried any like working together like online stuff aside from
Yeah.
gaming. Yeah.
Yeah, I had started it with gaming, and then like after
Mhm.
seeing the Pochi Senpai collab, I was like, you know what? This looks like super fun. Let's see if I can
Mhm.
find people to do it. And
Mhm.
obviously I did. And
Yeah.
it wasn't as hard to set up as I was thinking it would be, which makes it so much better. And of course
Mhm.
there's like a gazillion things you can do. And even drawing the same character, like
Yeah.
there's change the pose up all the time. A lot
Mhm.
of characters, like I know, like for instance, like with Ranafe, I know her avatar has multiple outfits. I've
Mhm.
only ever given myself one other outfit, because during Halloween I was dressed as 2B.
Oh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I actually dressed as 2B this year for Halloween again. So but
Mhm.
yeah, it was like, stuff like that. So there's things like that. And I'm also working on doing a 2D live for mine. So when I do that, it
Mhm.
will look more like me. Because yeah, you can't make the restrictions with Vroid, you can't make them thick enough
Mhm.
for my taste. Because I'm not
Oh.
I'm not fat, but I'm not a stick.
Mhm. So you have plans to like do you plan to like rechange your avatar
Yeah, I'm
when
gonna
you get
play
it
with
on
it more.
2D?
I already obviously did as much to make my current one look more 2D or anime style, because like I redid the eyes and the
Mhm.
face and everything, and the shading
Mhm.
and the hair
Mhm.
textures. But I want to actually see if I can go further with it.
Oh.
Yeah, I understand how Live 2D works. I just hadn't had a
Mhm.
lot of time to work on it, and honestly,
Mhm.
this new tablet
Yep.
is going to be so much helpful. I did not realize how much my tablet was holding me back. I love this one. By the way, Ranafe, the Huion tablet is great. I love it. I talked to her about which tablet I was gonna buy.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm actually considering buying a display tablet sometime in the future, but
I definitely recommend it.
yeah.
Because I started with my cheaper one. It was an Artist Soul, and
Mhm.
honestly, it still works. I'm gonna probably try to sell
Mhm.
it, because I feel bad because it can still work. It's just it won't work with my computer because of all the stuff I had to put on for Akiba Soul. 'Cause that's just
Mhm.
it. Working with Akiba Soul, I have all of these other programs.
Uh-huh.
I just cut my head off. Sorry. I
It's
moved
okay,
my
it's
computer
okay.
screen. But yeah, I have all of these like special programs and Python related stuff to be able to do, because I handle the
Mhm.
pre-orders right now and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So like I can't do this stuff without these programs. But
Uh-huh.
my tablet was like, no, I don't like you anymore. So yeah, I was like, I had to, like, I was getting so fed up. I was trying to work on that picture of Izuru, and it kept spitting on him, and
Mhm.
I was like, oh my god, I just want to finish this.
Mhm. Well, in my case,
Oh,
because
that's
I
good.
use Wacom bamboo tablet, so it's
Oh,
pretty
I
much
started
the
with the Wacom like really way back in the day. In
yeah.
fact, I bought one of them off of Ratifate. The Wacom, was it in 203? I think. Graph.
Oh,
Sorry, it was Graphire 4. She knows which one it is.
oh.
But yeah, it was the 4x6. That's the problem. It was a 4x6 screen. How big is your bamboo?
Mine is, I guess, like 811. I guess. No, I
Okay,
think
so it's a little bigger.
it's yeah.
Yeah, I do still
It,
have mine and it works fine.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, I was like that. What is it? That like disparity or whatever between drawing somewhere and like watching it appear somewhere else.
mm-hmm.
Really, like I have a lot of depth perception and like when I was a kid I had brain damage and I have all these weird things going on with me. So it was hard for
Oh.
me to like
Mm-hmm,
really work with it. And
mm-hmm,
it still improved my skills a lot and picked up my speed in coloring and let me do some
mm-hmm,
experimentation. But
mm-hmm.
when my computer monitor broke and I ended up buying a tablet, the Artist Soul, to actually replace my monitor until I got my computer. Yeah, I was like, wow, a
Mm-hmm,
drawing tablet helps a lot. It helps. I still do a lot traditionally first and then scan
mm-hmm,
it in because I'm
mm-hmm,
still better with it. But like
mm-hmm.
this tablet especially, the feel of the screen versus the Artist Soul is a lot more like paper, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot easier for me to draw on.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
wanted a display one, because you can pretty much see where your hand is like
Yeah.
drawing on, instead of just like looking directly at the on your separate monitor.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
definitely it's a good investment. Obviously,
Mhm.
take time to save up. A Huion is
Mhm.
actually having a sale right now. That's we didn't
Mhm.
realize it when we bought mine, but Huion is having a sale. I just got it on the payment
Mhm.
plan, so I could just pay it slowly.
Oh.
But it was off, like 20% off already too. And I
Mhm.
was like, I have a 13-inch screen. I was gonna go with a 20-inch screen, and we were
Mhm.
doing research, and they recommended either the 16 or 22 because of the like resolution stretch or whatever on the 20,
Yeah.
and I accidentally got the 22. No, I was unsure which one I was going to get, and then Wong was like, "We're getting the 22. It's only slightly more expensive."
Mhm.
It was like $50 more. It wasn't bad. It's huge. I wasn't
Oh.
expecting it, and I don't actually have a permanent desk, so it's
Mhm.
interesting. But I work on a kitchen table
Oh.
in my living room. We don't have room for two desks here, so our place is small. But when we get a house, I'll have my own desk, and it will
Mhm.
be great because I can have this all set up permanently, and even look into getting like one of those tablet arms. Those are cool.
Mhm. I'm almost done with mine as well,
Woo!
but
No worries.
yeah,
Like I said, I know
I'm.
I am the crazy like speedster with art. I was trying to go slower,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I got so into drawing it. I was like, oops.
Yeah, and I'm still like trying to get used to like whenever I try like streaming,
Hmm.
I try to like at least speak a lot, because
Oh yeah, no,
it's
it's good too.
yeah, because it's hard like when you're like speaking with when you're doing something, it's very hard for me. So yeah, I'm still trying to get a hang of it. That's why I make like private live streams on my Facebook.
It's good practice though.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
think 90% of my streams we start talking about food, especially French
Mm-hmm.
fries.
Yeah.
I've become known for like just wanting French fries. It's true. I always want French fries. But yeah, it's like I swear I don't have a single stream where we don't talk about food at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, when I was playing Raft with my friends, the beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
stream, while Wong would be getting set up, would be me and Arrow
Mm-hmm.
talking about something ocean related.
Yeah.
Like, well, the day we learned that catfish also live in the ocean, we had this whole
Mm-hmm.
long like, let's teach everyone on the internet that catfish also live in or also sea water fish because we thought they were only freshwater. So like it was like this whole thing, and it's so funny. But like that's what they kept being is like the first 10 minutes was informative, random conversation. I like learning that stuff though, so I hope other people do too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like no, it's good just to chat, and obviously if you have
Yep.
chatters on, talk with them
Mm-hmm.
too. I usually have push to talk
Yeah.
on. I turned it off
Mm-hmm.
because it kept interrupting me really bad for this, but that's why I'm like
Mm-hmm.
I usually have it on when I'm doing collabs, so like you don't hear me talking to the chat. But I was like I have a
Mm-hmm.
small chat, and
Uh,
sorry, you're gonna hear them.
oh.
Well, not hear them. You're gonna hear me talk to them, and I will like, what do you call it? Uh, can convey it back to you if you want to say anything to them too. So that's how I
Mm-hmm.
go. I also have a lot of people on chat who like to sass people. They're not here right now, but
Oh. Oh
I get some
no.
sassy ones. I like those.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. I get to sass my other people. Yes, guys, always feel free to sass the people I'm collabing with. It's fun. You can sass me too.
Oh. Okay.
No, I like it. I think it's great. Like part of the reason I really like collabs is there's that extra. Yeah, we're sassing now. Hi, Ficus. When did you get here? Of course you do, Ranape. But yeah, like I just find that like the interaction, because talking to an audience is some
Mm-hmm.
interaction, but there's a limit to what you can do, especially if you
Yeah.
have like I noticed like a lot of times, like the way the stream announcements and stuff go live for the first
Mm-hmm.
couple minutes, the first few minutes,
Uh-huh.
there's usually not a lot of people even seeing your live yet,
Yeah.
so it's just a lot of dead space and a lot of talking to
Yeah.
yourself. But yeah, when you have a collab, you can talk to each other, even if it's about
Mm-hmm.
nonsensical things like just asking how their day was or something.
Yep. I
What are
think
you
I
working
screwed.
on?
I think I screwed up on the layer though.
Oh, yeah, that's it's
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think. Yeah. I think I forgot to like switch my line art and the actual color base color.
Oops. Yeah, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I almost did. I caught myself in time. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it takes a while to get used to it, and of course,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't like one of the reasons I really like Photoshop too is you can step back so many times in history.
Mm-hmm.
What? Ficus, don't act like you have a job. No, I know he does.
I mean, everyone does a job.
I'm technically
Yeah,
unemployed right now.
yeah, yeah. So how is it going right as of right now, though?
Well, I've had interviews. That's about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it's been almost a year. I'm sure the day will come on Time Hop where I'm like, well, I'm without a job, because I saw like
uh,
my Time Hop had like the days of the end leading up to the end. So I was like,
mm-hmm.
the only plus side is I've been helping with like Akiba Silmore, and
Mm-hmm.
I've had time to get my Patreon more filled out, and so I'm like
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a little money from that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
almost about to get my first monies from Twitch.
Oh,
So that
nice.
will be nice. I need that for my car payment, so that'll
Mm-hmm.
be great. Yeah, like, and I use my stimulus to pay off one of my credit cards, so that helps manage my
Mm-hmm.
bills a little more. And I'm getting commission work and stuff, and I have more time to do it, so I can take on the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are a little bigger. But it's definitely like a lot of adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought about almost going back to school for something, but I was like, that's more money I don't have. Oh, you can adjust
Mm-hmm.
the amount of times you have first? Oh, in Photoshop. I don't know about here.
Oh.
I think there's a little less it gives you
Mm-hmm.
for Twitch. Sorry, somebody asked a question about how it works for the subs. I believe if
Mm-hmm.
you're a Prime sub, it gives you a little less than if you are paid, but it's
Oh.
still something. Yeah, I think I'm like $5 away from being able to get because Twitch won't give it to you until you reach a certain amount. And I'm like $5 away.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
I'm so close. I can't believe I got that close. I was really excited because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing this for profit at all. I am literally doing this because I am a very social gamer, and
Mm-hmm.
I like would sit there and talk to my cats or friends when I game. And obviously, it's really hard to do that right now because you can't have
Mm-hmm.
people over. Really,
Yep.
it's not safe. So yeah, it's like for this has been a really good thing for me, and it's helped me connect with like friends that I hadn't been able to talk to in a while, and
Mm-hmm.
actually feel like I'm getting to see them and hang out with them, even if it's just to do a dumb stream or something. So I like it
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And I made some cool new friends with it, which is exciting too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the threshold is really high on Twitch. I didn't realize how high it was until actually Kitten, the first time she cleared it, I was at her house. We were hanging out, and she
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting money from Twitch," and I was like, "What?" And then she showed me the threshold, and I was like, "Oh my god, wow." So I was like, yeah, like I guess like with Patreon I'm spoiled because even if I only had like a $3 Patreon, I would still get the $3 minus the tax, the fees they take
Mm-hmm.
out. But like, yeah, no, Twitch is until
Yeah.
you reach a certain amount, they won't even give it to you, and you have to reach that threshold every time. So like even after you clear it, you won't get
Mm-hmm.
any like you'll get beyond it for like that paid that period, but then it
Mm-hmm.
resets, so then you have to do it all over again. Yeah.
Oh, so it really needs to be like consistent.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is why like I technically started streaming in October.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was doing it for Ink October, and then I hit affiliate status near the end of October. Because
Mm-hmm.
this Twitch channel is old, but I never really I started using it to stream art, and then I got bored with it, and then stopped, and then 2 years later I picked it up again. So yeah, because I'm a distracted artist, and then I realized, oh wait,
Mm-hmm.
if I have a chat, that's a distraction, and it's good, keeps me
Yeah.
focused. So yeah, but I still do a lot of art without being on. I only do art once a week, so.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hoard your money. Yeah, it's hoard the money until you get a certain amount. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, so like I said, I really wasn't expecting to use this as like any kind of income. It's more for my entertainment, and I like it, and it's been fun
Mm-hmm.
and helped me with a lot of stuff. So hopefully it does the same for you. Oh, I like how you're doing the eyes. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
colors.
Oh, the mixture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually I try to like put more layers when I do the eyes, but since it's just I'm trying to like
Yeah, I
lessen it.
usually have
Yeah.
like 6 or 8 layers per eye, so.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
usually
think
also
the
do the
yeah.
highlights on an above layer, so that's like an extra
Mm-hmm.
too. This time they're
Yeah.
all on the same.
Yeah. Recently I've been hooked with using the luminosity layer because it really gives like a pretty bright shine like this one.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if it looks good though. So I'll
I don't
just
know. I
add it
haven't
a bit.
played. I played a little bit with like the layer effects. Mostly
Mm-hmm.
I do everything by hand. The
Mm-hmm.
exception is I do use multiply on things for certain line arts. Like so, my
Mm-hmm.
webcomic, I'm really lazy with coloring. Sorry guys.
Mm.
Because I do 2 pages a week on top of everything else. And it's been going for almost 15 years, so it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a long running thing. But
Mm-hmm.
with that one, I literally just draw it out by hand and then scan it in and color it. And so to get rid of like those little weird pixels around the line art, I just use the
Mm-hmm.
multiple layer and color underneath it. So it helps
Oh.
and lets me be a little lazy. Because like I said, those pages typically take me about 2 hours per to color. Unless they're like today, I just finished up one of the ones for next week. There are some fight scenes, so there's a lot of like weird effects in it.
Mm-hmm.
Viridian's getting beaten up again. It's her thing, I guess. But I was like, yeah. So like, they've been taking me longer to draw because of the fight scenes. Because I have to keep like, I
Mm-hmm.
have one of those I use a 3D poser, and I'll pose it and then like rotate it to get the angles right. But there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
really crazy angles and perspectives that I'm not strong with drawing. It's good
Oh,
practice,
oh,
but
so you use the 3D pose a lot on
yeah,
your like when you use when you when you were like trying to draw a character in a certain angle.
yeah. I find that
Uh,
like well because foreshortening is hard to understand. And like I said, because I don't
mm-hmm.
have any actual like training on it, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
like find any clues or hints or anything to understand it. So for me, being able to
Oh.
physically see it is a lot
Mm-hmm.
easier for me and
Uh-huh.
understand like I can understand how the shadowing is supposed to work because shading is my strong point for sure. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the perspective drawing it and not having it look super wonky is
Mm-hmm.
a little hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think from what I've seen in your style was you really had a good have a good sense with the shading like yeah, like this.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can blame Kitten for that.
Oh.
It's so funny. There was one
Mm-hmm.
summer when we were kids. She
Mm-hmm.
forced me to spend the entire summer drawing shading and highlighting and like learning how to do
Mm-hmm.
shading and highlighting, and I hated her for it. And
Oh.
then years later when I finally got into drawing, and then I get into college and
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing my portfolio. First thing
Yep.
every single teacher and professor said to me was, "You have a
Mm-hmm.
really good grasp of shading and lighting," and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
"Gee, I wonder." So yeah, like if you ever have like it's a good thing if you actually have time to do it, like spend like just
Mm-hmm.
like a month doing like just looking or even if you're doing it while doing other stuff, just like looking at like work exercises like that. In my case, we literally
Mm-hmm.
just did that. Like she'd take a ball or an item and put the light on it and we'd just draw it, or then we'd look at
Mm-hmm.
like actual things and try to draw the shading, and it was intense. It was a very intense workout, but she wanted to do it, and a lot of my skills I picked up because of her forcing me to actually learn stuff. I don't regret it now, but back then I hated her for it because, like I said, art was not my thing, and I was like, I'm not good. Please stop making me do this.
Yeah, because you're being forced to do something, but
Yeah,
when you're like trying to do it yourself, it's like it's pretty much like second nature.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, it was. It's a good learning experience, and so I think like and then so like yeah, by myself since then, like there was one college where I spent the entire of my one of my classes drawing hands in the notes.
Hmm.
It's like I have to draw while I listen to lectures, so it's just a bunch of hands. Because I was like, I'm trying to understand. It's like I understand the basic shape of hands now, very well.
Hmm.
I'm just still they're the bane of my existence. Hands are hard.
Hmm.
I think all
Yeah.
artists can agree. Hands are hard.
Yep. Yeah, even for me, whenever I drew hands like in a very quick way, I can do it like at least like I can envision it, but like putting it in execution, I really suck at it.
What even
Yeah.
are hands? Yeah, like when
Hmm.
I first started drawing, all of my characters had their hands behind their backs.
Mm, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then I learned how to
yeah.
draw a peace sign because of
Mm-hmm.
Misty from Pokemon. So then they all had a peace sign in one hand. And then I learned how to flip it, so then it was double peace signs. My
most
hand drawing was a weird trip.
my most of my O's were drawn back then. Their hands were like making a fist a lot.
Those are in some ways easier or harder depending on who you are, because like I
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but no, I've purposely been like when I draw now, like especially like Patreon has been like a weird
Mm-hmm.
benefit for me for this is
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting an option to draw a lot of characters I wouldn't normally draw, or have an excuse to draw for one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also using it as like an experimental thing. And so like I've
Mm-hmm.
changed my shading and stuff with it, my coloring a bit, but I've also like really learning about anatomy and getting to like choose really random poses, and I can take more time on
Mm-hmm.
them than I could like on a commission. And like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why I was like stopping myself from even doing this on my own work, but it's been like one of those benefits I didn't expect to have, and I like it because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can see my improvement from just, a few months ago on understanding some of the anatomy, and I'll see something and be like, "Oh dude, I like this for more than 2 hours. What is this?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're like that as an artist where you're like, "I like this." 2 hours later, no, it's horrible.
Yeah, I think I had those moments too. Yeah.
All characters new tactic, all characters are horses, hooves only. This is what Ficus thinks. Don't make me kill you off again, Ficus. I've killed him twice in Zoskias.
Oh.
Aren't you supposed to write your friends into your stories and kill them off?
uh, in my case, I mostly kill myself though. It's the reverse for me.
I've never actually written myself into a story. Oh, I take that back. I did once. I was a ferret. I
Oh.
wasn't even a human. I was
Well,
the detective's ferret. That's it. Everyone else
mhm.
was an actual based on my friend, and I was a ferret.
Most of my OCs were pretty much immortal characters, so I can pretty much draw them a lot like even my virtual avatar.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to. I say I don't think I had some like with longer lives, but I don't think I ever had. Even now, have any that are truly immortal.
Mhm.
I have some that seem immortal because of some weird stuff going on, and I'm not going to say why because I'm not spoiling
Yep.
it. You guys have to freaking read those kiosks and figure it out for yourself. There's a lot of characters. Like one of them
Mhm.
was beheaded like 50 years ago, and he's still running around.
Oh.
Secrets.
Yeah.
He's actually based off of a real serial killer who was
Oh.
actually beheaded once they caught him. So
Mhm.
I know a little too much about serial killers.
I pretty much I sometimes like watch those kind of stuff. So, but I'm still like interested, like watching like those.
I blame being a writer, because
Mhm.
most of my stuff is high fantasy or like epic fantasy and dark fantasy, because one of them is
Mhm.
really dark. But I have a paranormal mystery series that takes place in
Mhm.
like Chicago, and so there's been a lot of research I've had to do for that. That was just based on stuff, and I don't know about you, but sometimes when you're reading something, it leads to something
Mhm.
else, and then you're reading
Yeah,
something
yeah,
else, and before you
yeah.
know
Mhm.
it, you have an encyclopedia of knowledge on serial killers by accident.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I think I pretty much pick up like getting knowledge a lot from like reading different genres of manga. Like for example, I read Berserk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to read it like regularly, but so I kind of pick up like religion stuff.
Yeah, actually, I have
Yeah.
learned. So I was translating Seiyuki Reload
Mhm.
Blast. I've also done some of the other Seiyuki series, but that one
Mhm.
specifically has been a big influence on my knowledge of like Buddhism and
Mhm.
stuff. So I am one of those people, like when I translate, I want it to be as accurate as possible. There is a lot of stuff from
Oh.
Japanese that doesn't translate to English well, or they're
Yeah,
making
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
references that, like
Mhm.
somebody from Japan might get it, but
Yeah.
otherwise you won't. So like
Mhm.
when I do it, I always want to leave like my editor always says she loves me for giving her like 2 pages of author notes, but or
Mhm.
for translation notes, because I was like, I want
Yeah.
people to know like what if you're missing the meaning of it, it changes the story entirely. So yes, I am
Yeah.
the translator note crazy translator. So yeah,
Mhm.
I would do research and like I learned about like different philosophers and stuff because it'd be like this quote and I
Mhm.
was like, I don't know who this guy is. I'm gonna go read up on it
Mhm.
because a quote from a philosopher is not obviously as it appears. So you got to
Yep.
figure out what it means, who he was, all this stuff. And I like
Mhm.
to leave notes like this is this guy and he practiced this. And yeah, so I'll
Yeah.
always go read. And I think it was Seiyuki Ibun when I was translating that one. There's a
Mhm.
chapter where they basically tell the main character if he can't recite all these scriptures, they're kicking him out of
Mhm.
training. So
Mhm.
I went and learned a bunch of Buddhist scriptures so I could translate it all properly. So I spent
Yeah.
like 2 days just going over and reciting Buddhist scriptures. And then, of course, we got to the one that I knew because now
Mhm.
Makusan Bazara Dan Khan I picked up from Ghost Hunt because I
Mhm.
love that series. And I was like, yeah, no, but I know more now. I'm not an overachiever. I'm just weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when there's actually a discussion like in trash taste, like they even discuss like some series like it's hard to translate. Like
Yeah.
there's this series called Monogatari.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Monogatari.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Monogatari series. Actually, anime man said that there are some like nuances that it's very hard to like explain it even in English. That's
Yeah.
why there's like there's a huge chance that they won't like translate the books in English.
Oh, except for they did.
Yeah, yeah, they did,
Actually, I was
but
really
it yeah.
pleasantly surprised with that. So I had read Kizu
Mm-hmm.
Monogatari in Japanese originally
Mm-hmm.
because I
Yeah,
love Shinobu. Shinobu is like one of my favorite characters. So
yeah.
I read all of her like the Kishat story with her, and when it
Mm-hmm.
got translated into English, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
pick it up. I'll buy it to support it. We'll see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
They did a freaking amazing job with the translations. Like
Oh.
it is very spot on. They got the nuances is the best that you could get. Like I was like, this isn't like
Mm-hmm.
one of those crazy adaptations where they change stuff. Like no, they really hit the nail on the head. So I went and ended up at ASIN that year. Ended up
Mm-hmm.
pre-ordering the entire book series because they were releasing them all and they had like a box
Mm-hmm.
set. So I bought that and then I ended up giving my copy of Kizu that I own to my older
Mm-hmm.
sister to read, and I just told her to keep it because I was like, already have another copy now. But yeah, like no, I was very impressed, and I read them all. Like so, Kizu was the only one I actually read in Japanese first, but I was still like, no, the translations are so much better than what you're seeing from a lot of things that I will
Mm-hmm.
support that company
Mm-hmm.
all the time because like I read the Shield Hero light novel in English, and I was like, what the heck are you
Mm-hmm.
guys doing? I mean, to be fair, that one's not that well written in Japanese, especially for the first couple books, but the English one is really bad. And I was like, I mean, I know what they're trying to do, and I know it's kind of a hard story to do much with because it's got some really weird feminism nuances that the author doesn't get rid of until like book 3 or 4, where she realizes, oh right, I'm writing a story.
Mm-hmm.
And like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for girl power, but I like she
Mm-hmm.
went a little extreme in it. So,
Yeah.
but there was just like weird things like that. But yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
one of those who tends to read manga in Japanese initially. So
Mm-hmm.
there's only a few that I read in English, and most of them I have to actually have read it in Japanese already before I'll touch it in English.
Mm-hmm. But have you seen the actual anime?
Yeah, I've watched all of the Monogatari anime too.
Was it adapted like uh accurately, or
I
was
think
it
they did a pretty good job with it. There were a couple like weird things with it, but once again, so what you have to know if anyone ever watches the Monogatari series, the way
Mm-hmm.
that they were able to kind of like get around the crazy translation stuff,
Mm-hmm.
there are notes. You will literally have to read a lot. Like I'm not talking reading translation notes. I'm literally like sometimes they will literally just write text as part of the
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And they did a
Oh.
good job translating it to English properly, so it's easy enough to understand, but you sometimes get like two paragraphs of text and like no time to read it. So, yeah, be
Dang.
prepared for that. So, like, yeah, that was one of those. Typically, like, I'll work on projects while I watch anime because I can understand Japanese, so I don't need to look at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't for that series because, there'd just be silence and text. And I was like, I had to
Mm-hmm.
do that one when I was doing absolutely nothing else besides maybe eating because it was just, yeah. And that's not a bad thing, but yeah, it worked really well for that series. I don't think it would work well for every series,
Mm-hmm.
but Shaft did a decent job of handling it and animating it and stuff. So
Mm-hmm. I'm almost done. Yep, just the mouth left.
Q. Yeah, I think it's about 2 hours is the mark I've usually been going on these with people, which is good because that way
Mm-hmm.
neither one of us is spending like hours upon hours on doing this when it's just supposed to be like a quick
I
fun stream.
I didn't even realize it's already like almost 2 hours.
I only do because I record my streams as well, so I can
Mm-hmm.
archive them because I put them on YouTube as an archive because Twitch only
Oh
keeps
yeah,
them
yeah,
for like
yeah.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to look back and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, like that's why I do it. And so I
Mm-hmm.
have the recording and it says it's at like 1 hour 56 minutes. So like,
Oh.
oh yeah, that's the only reason I ever know how long because when we were playing Dying Light one night, I looked down and I was like, crap,
Mm-hmm.
this is a 4.5 hour recording. What is going? Like, oops.
It must be a pain like doing the edits and stuff.
I don't really edit it though. I just compress it down.
Oh, okay, okay.
I figure in the future at some point I'll probably go do like some compilations on some of them, like especially since we've finished some of the games or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did do like an edit compilation. I want to make a better intro video, and I had never posted it anywhere because I didn't like it. But I was playing around with stuff like that for.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should say I posted it as a private video and only sent the link to a couple people. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to do like a better intro video. So,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
yeah.
but actually, when I did my introductory video, I was like so nervous. I even forgot to like mention some of the details.
Yeah, like I don't know what you're supposed to do in
Yeah.
those. Like everyone's
Yeah.
always like, "Oh, you just introduce yourself." I'm like, yeah, I was the person when
Mm-hmm.
they called you up to introduce yourself in class, I'd be like, "Hi."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I actually even like wrote notes like they're pasted like in front of me on my tower. So
yeah, but still, when you like clam up,
yeah.
like even that stuff.
Yeah, I was nervous. I didn't like even like take a time to like compose myself, and I even forgot to like mention some important stuff like the rules and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I've been slowly adding to like my about page and stuff, so I've got stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like in that weird spot where I was like, I want to do something, but I don't know what to
Mm-hmm.
do. I
Yep.
want to also change like my outro and intro stuff, so I've been working on
Mm-hmm.
that. I just changed the
Yeah.
background yesterday to French fries.
Mhm.
It's just me dancing in front of French fries. I'm like, eh. I finally found myself like a backdrop and I set that up like I
Mhm.
liked it, and I've been working on like overlays and stuff, so
Mhm.
baby steps.
Yep. Oh, I keep adding some layers. I keep
Oh,
adding layers I didn't notice. Like, oh, so that's why.
that's okay. You need all these layers, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still like trying to like finish my art like in few layers, but it just ends up like doing a lot, so it's very hard.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Ficus. Ah, I saved it with my tablet pen. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Could go file save, touches tablet pen instead.
I
I th-
remember when I was drafting my because I did the Gareth fan art back then, like
yeah, I
last
saw
year.
that. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
actually somebody I was talking to yesterday. Oh, when Kohaku came over, because I told her I was doing a stream and like somebody she didn't know, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "What? I want to see their art." So I was poking around on your art stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when I did the first draft for my Gareth fan art, I was like, oh, oh, I think I'll be done like finishing this draft like in a few hours. Then I just realized that I haven't saved it. Then I just closed my paint tools eye.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, wait, wait. So
Yeah, I'm the kind of
I
person who
ended up
saves like every
doing it
couple
again.
seconds. So at least
Yeah.
I have that. But yeah, like I said, that's why I was like, if I'm gonna be saving a couple seconds and I keep bumping this button, might as well make it the save button.
Yeah, even though I can't go back on some of the strokes, I can at least fix them.
Yeah, it's the fun
Yeah,
thing with layers.
but I think yeah, I think the Garrett fan art was the hardest fan art I've done so far because I did the braid thingy on the because there's like this layer of clothing on her lower half, and there's like braids and stuff. So I
Yeah.
did like a lot of like line arts on that. Took me like 5 hours, I guess, finishing it.
So far, the
The
hardest I found to do for fan art, at least that I've done recently,
mm-hmm.
both Ayame and Izuru kicked my butt.
Oh.
Like I knew Ayame had a lot of detail, but it was the same thing when I did
Mm-hmm.
Kiara for a Patreon reward. I keep getting Hollow Life.
Mm-hmm.
People get
Oh.
asked for as Patreon rewards, but like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was like there was a lot of like her base detail is fine, but then that little brooch was a problem. And then like with Ayame, I knew she had some textures. I just didn't realize how many patterns she had on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, Izuru looks easy. And then I'm doing him, and I was like, oh my god, there's all these patterns I didn't notice and textures. And yeah, my like perfectionist streak is like, no, you must get all of them right. So yeah, I'm the same way with that. But yeah, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I am very impressed with the artist who set that up and rigged it, because I think the rigging
Mm-hmm.
would have been really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I just went with something more simple and still styled like me for mine.
Mm-hmm. I think the quickest of fan art I made digitally was the prototype Merlin. I was because I found it in Facebook, like the reveal and stuff. I
Yeah,
was like, I was like, oh shoot, now I have to do this one as well.
I
Yeah,
actually
so
haven't done a lot of Fate fan art. I need to.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I did it like in 4 hours, I guess. So I had like some few errors as well. So
Yeah,
good thing it was received well in Reddit, because I tried to post some of my artwork in Reddit as well, just to like get some insight as well. And I'm glad people in Reddit are pretty nice as well.
I haven't really used Reddit. I need to. I was trying to for a while, and like
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, like I shared one art like way long ago. They were talking
Mm-hmm.
about it was some, like I think it was actually also for like a contest or whatever, and they were like, just draw
Mm-hmm.
Saber and like upvote. So I did this
Mm-hmm.
picture of Saber from Fate Zero on the bike and whatever, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, it definitely wasn't my best piece, but at the time it was
Mm-hmm.
like bikes and like that kind of stuff is very difficult for me, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy with it. But I was like, it wasn't that like I got negative views or anything. It was just there wasn't a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like, I wasn't getting a lot of response, like even people being like, well, you can do this better or any kind of stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. And it just
Yeah.
kind of like my anxiety was like, oh no, I should have posted this here. I'm sorry guys, I made you look at it.
Yeah, actually, I also had that same anxiety when I first posted it in Reddit. I was like, because the first one I posted was the Garrett one, so I was just like waiting for responses like, oh shoot, they're gonna complain about the armor and stuff not being too accurate and it doesn't look real. And I'm glad the responses were like, oh, I like the the pink thingy on her cheeks, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's good to get like it's obviously, it's important to get, feedback that helps you improve, but it's also nice just
mm-hmm.
sometimes to hear people just be like, "You know what? I don't know anything about art, but I still like this." And like that's just great. That's
Yeah,
okay.
mm-hmm.
Feed
Yeah.
us feed our starving artist. You can also feed our egos. It works.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think uh the best way to like get your fan art noticed was to post it on like online groups like the ones in Facebook or even Reddit, because you can pretty much get the responses right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I did because I was like having a hard time like when I made my Arc Knights fan art with Magalan.
Mhm.
I had a hard time like making her facial expression, and I got one there's this one poster who said he was like teasing me about it, like it
Oh.
kind of looks like Nicolas Cage, I guess, on how she smiled. So of course, I'm a little bit bummed about it, but it's pretty much helpful. Like, oh, so that's why it kind of feels off, because it really feels off to me when I finished it. So it's nice to have like a second opinion about it.
Yeah, I'm in some art groups on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
where we can do like, people can give you some feedback, and sometimes like I'll specifically be like, "Hey, what can I do better here?" Let's see what
Mm-hmm.
Rana Face says. So Reddit for her has been hit or miss. It
Mm.
mostly depends on the community. And then title of her book is Why I Stopped Posting in Reddit WoW and Reddit Fate. Oh my laughing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have found that I don't get a lot of like necessarily feedback on it, but I have the
Mm-hmm.
most traction on Twitter.
Oh,
So I'm like, that's cool. I've got more
uh,
people following me. I get like, well, I like especially on like the fan art pieces, but even on some of the more generic stuff, like I'll have people like liking or sharing, like retweeting. And
mm-hmm.
it's weird because like some of them don't say anything. And then of course
Mm-hmm.
the weirdest is I'll get like some Japanese Seiyuki fans sharing. I did some
Mm-hmm.
Seiyuki comics and they were
Oh
obviously in
yeah, yeah.
English. And like some of them shared them were like, this is great. And then somebody else shared it and was like,
Mm-hmm.
why are the sound effects in Japanese? And then I responded
Mm-hmm.
to her in Japanese and she was like, oh my gosh, I got a response. Like, I'm sorry, not trying to freak you out, just trying to say like, yeah, these sound effects don't work in English. They're dumb in English. Oh, Tumblr again? I hate Tumblr.
I
Yeah.
haven't tried using Tumblr back then because I feel it like very hard to use, and it's
Yeah,
pretty much just like a pile of artworks, I guess.
I haven't had very much luck with Tumblr overall. I wasn't impressed with the
Mm-hmm.
community or the building and things like that. I have a Tumblr
Uh-huh.
account. I
Mm-hmm.
basically, I should say I post there often, but not because I actually post there often.
Mm-hmm.
So like with Instagram, you can post to multiple sources. So my Instagram
Mm-hmm.
posts also go to Tumblr. Because yeah, it's not worth my time to do that because I don't have like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of traction on there, and I honestly don't want to. I don't have the time to
Mm-hmm.
dedicate to that kind of stuff, and the community was getting so toxic and kind of get so
Mm-hmm.
toxic so fast. I would
Yeah.
rather prefer like to stay like that's why I really like the Discord group that Cosplaying Kitten started and then allowed me to
Mm-hmm.
join as the second person because it's a really good group for feedback and stuff and talking about things, and maybe it's not always artistic feedback, but
Mm-hmm.
just really having people to like talk about things and get ideas and bounce around stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
also having other artist friends and stuff like even yesterday I was randomly sending screenshots of Isuru
Mm-hmm.
before he was totally finished because I was like, I need to finish this, or what color should this be and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I had stuff sharing back and forth and getting input from other people. So I've gotten
Mm-hmm.
lucky that a lot of my friends I have met like either I know in person or I've met through like communities like Discord communities or Facebook or even Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Twitter has a really nice format, I think, for that too. It's strange
Mm-hmm.
how much art gets put on there, but it's also, I think, really nice. And it's very clean
Mm-hmm.
and easy to use. Some of them get too bundled, and a lot of
Yeah.
Facebook's groups get too overwhelmed too fast, I think.
Yeah. I well, with Twitter, I only recently just got the hang of it, and I think it is pretty easy to like get a lot of like attention to it because all you need is to do is just put more hashtags, I
Yep,
guess. Just like
hashtags.
yeah, just I think that's how I do in Instagram as well.
Yeah, I usually copy my posts from Twitter to post on Instagram. I don't
Yeah.
actually just do it, and occasionally I'll add extra
Mhm.
hashtags because Instagram has more posting rules.
Mhm.
Yeah. So as Ranafe points out, Twitter wasn't actually super art friendly initially, but since
Mhm.
especially with the Tumblr and other places shutting down or having more toxic environments, Twitter became more of an art community because a bunch of artists jumped over there, and it's been
Mhm.
very beneficial, I think, for a lot of people. Because like I said, I know for me it was
Mhm.
one of those. I'm not trying to be like I don't want to ever be like a famous artist or anything like that. I'm pro and
Mhm.
I consider myself pro because I do paid work, but
Mhm.
I like the feedback and I like obviously everyone likes having their work acknowledged and stuff like that. So meeting communities and stuff, and actually Twitter is also a really good place for the writing community. I was surprised.
Mhm. Yeah, but
Oh
recently
yeah.
there were like a lot of like problems with like minors and stuff.
Oh,
And
were there? I don't know too much about.
yeah, I think it's more on like the anime side, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah, cause there's this like some series like the Redo of Healer. A
Oh my
lot of
gosh,
like
yeah, redo a
yeah,
feeler. Yeah.
a lot of people were like complaining like it's a straight up story, but I'm like what? It's
And
not
no,
really
no, it I
that
read the
much of
plot. I
yeah.
read because we got pre-orders of 2 of the figures up, and I was like, "Oh, they're
Hmm.
cute, little skinky but
Yeah.
cute. I want to go read the summary of
Yeah.
the series." And I was like, "Oh my god, never mind." And also, Ratife,
Yeah.
that is amazing news. When are we going for potatoes? She's like, "The potatoes are back at Taco Bell." I we always talk about food. I actually have to run to
Yeah.
the UPS store today. Once I pack these orders, I have to go out, which I have till like 6, so I'm not. Oh, I'm an hour
Mm-hmm.
behind you, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so rude, Ranafe, ordering potatoes without me. Cruel. An unusual punishment.
Yeah, this talk of food really gets me hungry now.
Ah, good. That's
Yeah.
my job. Make everyone hungry. Love you too,
Uh,
Ranafe.
yeah, good thing I had my coffee earlier, so.
Just because I had caffeine doesn't mean I don't want to eat. What did I even eat for lunch? Oh, right, ensemadas and queso and tortilla chips.
Mm-hmm.
Leftovers, basically. Well, not the ensemadas,
Mm-hmm.
even though I already got into them last night. I bought them yesterday and got into them last night.
I think I'm pretty much done.
Okay, cool. I'm
It's
gonna go
gonna
ahead.
take more time if I keep on doing
Yeah,
the
no
shadows too.
worries.
Yeah.
I think it looks nice though. I'm gonna
Woo.
save it. Ah, come on.
Yeah, sure.
Because I
Yeah.
like to post it on my social media. Woo! And
Mm-hmm.
then if you have a
How do they save it though?
you can just do file save. It will save it and give you options. If you're having trouble saving it, I do have it saved. I can always send it to you.
Oh, okay. You can just send it to me.
Okay, cool. And then
All right.
also if you have like a signature or something that you use,
Mm-hmm.
uh
Yeah, sure. I'll put it here.
well, yeah, I mean you can also if you have like a watermark you want to send me and I can slap it on
Mm-hmm.
when I share it. If not, I can just
Uh.
like write a name or something. But yeah, I would say some people do, some people don't. I have like my little
Mm-hmm.
initials next to mine, but I still usually slap my watermark on. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can't like import stuff in here, so I don't have it in
Mm-hmm.
here. Mine looks like a honko, so I mean it is a honko. It's based off my name. It's what I use for my logo.
Usually, I just handwrite it with the tablet. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, I usually sign my stuff handwrite, but then I also slap a watermark on it because that's right, people. You got to pay me for my art. I'm
Yep.
poor. Oh, that's a cool way to write the M.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks like runes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, makes me think of Celtic runes. I also studied runes. I am really a nerd. Back in 5th grade, I was reading a book on runes and learning how to
Yeah.
write
You
them for no apparent reason.
back then I just used this letter M like on my Chuny stuff. So
Oh, yeah, it kind of
yeah.
makes me think actually almost of what is it? I think one of the zodiac signs is similar to that.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It seems to look like one.
I'm not really good with Western zodiac. There's a weak
Hmm.
point that I don't study, but I know it's
Yeah.
similar to one of them. I just don't know. It makes me think of one of them. I just don't know which one. And then yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
bottom, the DMP, definitely makes me think of like Celtic runes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, save it again.
Well, well, the Dempt one was like, how shall I stylize these letters? I was like, maybe try use like styling it like as sticks, I guess. Maybe make this
Oh,
thing an arrow, I guess, because there's a letter E and T as well, so maybe just changes into arrows. So
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. And it's always good to have like, one that stands out and is uniquely you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, cool. Well, in that case, we can go ahead and I think call it here.
Yeah, sure, sure. Everything's nice. Oh,
Thank you
yeah,
so much for joining me. That was
yeah,
really fun.
yeah. It's pretty fun actually. I really learned a lot too. Like yeah. I'm just so speechless. Like
That's okay. No, that was really
yeah,
cool. Obviously, if you ever
yeah.
want to collab or anything again, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, sure.
I'm also available for like off collabs because we don't even necessarily have to do that. We can always do like an actual
Mm-hmm.
like art trade or art collab kind of thing too. Because I think it's really good
Yeah.
for everyone to help each other when they can, and I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy this kind of thing. So
Yeah, me too. Actually, I like how you're able to speak a lot during the stream, because
yeah, I talk
I'm
a lot.
just I'm just a greenhorn, like doing like talking during stream. So yeah, I think this is a good step for me to like talk
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
think you did a great job though. I think you'll definitely get used to it too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you just I'm actually more comfortable talking behind like a monitor like this than I am in person. So this works really well for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll get used
uh,
to it though.
uh, oh yeah, do you have any like announcements and stuff?
Oh, do I? Oh, actually, I do.
Yeah,
I can
sure.
say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, right, I do. This Saturday is my monthly karaoke stream. We do it
Oh,
once a month.
nice.
So this
Oh.
Saturday is the March one. I'll be doing it with Too Much Wong again. There's no theme.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who pops on, you guys can make requests, and we will try to do our best. I do know way more songs than Wong, and most of them are Japanese songs because that's we're using the Joy Sound system. But yeah, you guys can come in and like make them in the chat, or if you can read Japanese and understand the system, you can make them right through Joy Sound, and we'll screw them up for you.
I look weird here. Yeah, I'm still figuring out like my avatar's expression, so I'm like
Yeah, I went in and used Unity and changed them up a bit too. So that's why
yeah.
mine are not quite as like they're weird. I do
Mm-hmm.
know VC just had another update though that's supposed to help normalize VC face or whatever, which is what I use. I haven't actually updated
Mm-hmm.
mine in forever though, because every time there's an update, it screws it up. So I
Oh.
left it alone, and apparently the last couple updates have not broken it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll finally update.
For me,
Yeah.
I updated mine like 2 weeks ago, I guess. So maybe around like before I started my first stream, and I think there's not really that much any problem. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the last two updates, which I think the one was like 2 weeks ago, and then they just had one I think
Mm-hmm.
last night or the night before or whatever. They both
Mm-hmm.
like they didn't break anything this time, and they fixed some of the stuff that got broken. Wong usually
Uh,
updates it, so like that's just it. He'll update right away, and I'll see the broken things and be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna deal with that right now. I'm just gonna leave my VC face that I have. I'm using a really old version, but I will update it and see what new features. So there's some
mm-hmm.
cool things. And like maybe next time too, I can walk you through how to do it so we can actually have
Oh.
both of our avatars moving on the screen. Because that's
Mm-hmm.
something I learned how to do more recently, but it takes a little more time to set it up. So
Oh. Yeah, maybe next collab, I guess.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
work. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
cool things that I'm learning how to do, and I'm always happy to share. And obviously, if you learn something to do that you think is exciting, feel free to tell me. Because even if I know it already,
Mm-hmm.
I probably don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah.
Cosplaying Kitten
Yeah.
has
Same
walked me
here.
through a lot of this. She's actually been the one who set me up with most of this, and then Wong has been learning how to do the audio end of it and fixing that on
Mm-hmm.
mine too, with the filters
Yeah.
and the plugins and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, goodbye everyone.
All right. Goodbye.